Yemo looked at that old woman. She was cauldron-filling state. He didn't expect this old woman to be Susu's master. He heard Qingxue say that Susu's master is very nice to Susu, so he wasn't angry. Even some other sect leaders and cultivators felt Yemo was crossing the line. Everyone knew that Yemo had Ning Qingxue. His previous words with Infinity Sect's sect leader clearly meant that there was conflict between them. Now that Infinity Sect took out a marriage gift to propose to Luo Susu, he immediately came out and said Susu was his wife. How could there be such a coincidence in the world? But because Yemo helped them a lot by saying what they didn't dare to say, no one said anything. But one elder from Lightning Cloud Sect sneered, "The Pill City Honorary City Lord is indeed arrogant, marrying whomever he wants. Who dares to disobey him?" How could Yemo not tell that this elder was trying to start trouble? However, he ignored him. He walked to Yin Guan and bowed before saying politely, "Sect leader Yin, this must be Susu's master. You're Yemo's Qianbei as well? I wasn't invited to Black Ice Sect this time, and I believe you guys know that. But Wanbei indeed came to pick up my wife Susu and my sister Beiwei. If you don't believe me, you can bring them here to ask them." Yin Guan and the female cultivator were dazed. They could tell Yemo was being genuine. But this was too coincidental. Other sect cultivators also looked at Yemo in confusion. Even they weren't sure if Yemo was telling the truth. Many people felt Yemo wasn't lying as this was too easy to prove. They only had to ask Luo Susu or Tang Beiwei. When Tsai clenched her fists and stared at Yemo, she didn't doubt at all that Susu was Yemo's wife. When Tsai thought of her oath, no matter who Luo Susu's husband was, she would rob him from her and then kick him back. In reality, Luo Susu's husband was indeed a dragon amongst men. He was so young and already a level 7 pill king. She couldn't even see his power level. "Yemo, do you think that you can do whatever you want as an honorary city lord of Pill City? How can there be such a coincidence in the world? He Ling, will kill you here today. So what?" A gray-robed old man formed a huge cultivation essence hand and wanted to kill Yemo on the spot. No one expected He Ling really dared to do this. Yin Guan cursed. Black Ice Sect only had one truth realization state Grand Elder, but that elder wasn't here. There was no way to stop it. Many cultivators greeted Yemo before, but no one was willing to help Yemo stop this. Jiling quickly got up and said, "He Qianbei, wait." But He Ling didn't seem to hear it, and reached the cultivation essence huge handover. A hollow spirit state cultivator really couldn't do anything against a truth realization state cultivator. Yemo smiled and said, "Old Lu, someone really doesn't take me seriously and dares to attack. Chop off his claw, and let's serve it for our first wine today." Everyone heard this and was dazed. What did Yemo mean? Only Lu Wu who understood what Yemo meant. First wine meant his first time attacking for him. Lu Wu, who didn't even care about 9-star sect, he cared about when Yemo asked him to attack the 3 times. To him, the earlier the better. He was all too happy that Yemo asked for his help. Without hesitation, he also reached out a giant hand of cultivation essence. Lu Wu, who had been in truth realization state for countless years, and was the pinnacle being. He Ling was only a truth realization state primary stage cultivator. He was a far cry from Lu Wu who. Thud He Ling's cultivation essence giant hand was instantly crippled. At the same time, he spat blood. In just one move, he was injured. One could see how powerful Lu Wu Hu was. Luckily, Lu Wu Hu knew that he was a 9-star sect Grand Elder and didn't really cut his hand off. "Lu Qianbei, what do you mean by this?" Yang Feiqing's face changed. If Lu Wu Hu helped Yemo, they wouldn't be able to kill Yemo even after he left Black Ice Sect, much less now. Lu Wu Hu said lazily, "Why do I need to tell you? How dare you attack my brother in front of me? Are you asking to die? This is a warning. The next time won't be so simple. I won't joke with you guys." Everyone instantly froze. Yemo called Lu Wu Hu Old Lu, and with one word Lu Wu Hu attacked for him. Even Yu Qichao had to call Lu Wu Hu Qianbei. With such powerful support, who dared to attack Yemo? Yin Guan sweated cold. If Fanny Zhu really attacked Yemo, then they would have been finished. Susu is our Black Ice sect member, my personal disciple. Even the Infinity Sect leader brought wedding gifts and personally came to propose. Pill King Yi, do you think just because you're from Pill City, you can forcefully take away my Black Ice Sect member? The old female cultivator asked. Susu is our Black Ice sect member, my personal disciple. Even the Infinity sect leader brought wedding gifts and personally came to propose. Pill King Yi, do you think just because you're from Pill City, you can forcefully take away my Black Ice sect member? The old female cultivator asked. She then looked around and saluted with her fists. Our Black Ice sect isn't as powerful as Pill City, but we're still a 9-star sect. No one can abuse us like this. I don't care what Susu's identity in the mortal world was, but she's my personal disciple now. She will marry whom I want her to marry. No one can force me. Otherwise, even if I die, I will maintain the authority of the Black Ice sect. Everyone could tell that Fan Lianju's words meant that she already believed Susu was Yemo's wife, but she still dominantly believed that Yemo had no right to take away Susu from Black Ice sect. Yemo had some good impression of Susu's master originally, but now that he heard this, he was furious. He got up and said coldly, I called you Qian Bei because you're Susu's master. Don't think you're anything special. Susu is indeed your disciple, and I'm grateful you took care of her, but she didn't sell herself to you. You have no right to decide what she wants to do. That's Susu's own decision to make. You. Fan Lian's face was green with anger. In the cultivation realm, the respect for masters was the utmost highest. Yemo said he was Susu's husband, but now spoke to her like this. She almost spat blood. Yinguan quickly got up and said, City Lord Yi, I believe your words too. We'll ask Beiwei later and we'll know. But you also know that when Susu came into our sect, she hadn't established her foundation yet. She was just with a few mortal girls. According to the rules of our cultivation realm, coming into this cultivation realm is severing off your ties to the mortal realm. Everything in the past has nothing to do with her. Yemo's face sunk and said coldly, So sect leader Yin means that Susu has nothing to do with me now? As for what she thinks herself, you don't need to consider. Is that right? Yin Guan stuttered. If someone else said this, he would immediately rebut. So what? But he didn't dare to say that to Yemo. Yemo had Lu Wuhu next to him, and there was Pill City supporting him. An abstruse sound sect as well as Clear Dream Mosque also seemed to be supporting him. But Lightning Cloud sect leader Wang Chuanha got up and said, City Lord Yi, according to the rules of the cultivation realm, after Luo Susu entered the Black Ice sect, she indeed severed off her mortal ties. Even if she was related to City Lord Yi in the past, that's the past. And the number one important thing for us cultivators after entering a sect is respecting our masters. Elder Fan is Luo Susu's master. She does have the right to make Susu listen to her. Does City Lord Yi think you can forcefully change the rules of the cultivation realm just because you're Pill City's honorary City Lord? Wang Chuanhe was mocking Yemo, as even if the two City Lords of Pill City were here, they wouldn't be able to change that rule. Even though this rule now was just for show and many disciples still returned home after cultivation and no one would care, this rule did indeed exist. Yemo was furious. These guys dared to say this because his power was weak. If he was a truth realization state cultivator, who would dare to say that? Lu Wu who could protect him, but he wouldn't go challenge 9-star sections. Pill City was on his side, but that rule was just. Although it didn't make sense, it meant that they had reason on their side. If Yemo forcefully pushed this rule away, even the Pill City wouldn't be able to find a good excuse to help him. Lu Wu who didn't care about this at all. Although he was with Yemo, his relationship with him was far from what other people thought. He just wanted to return Yemo's favor as quickly as possible, or there would be confinements for his cultivation. Thus, he didn't help Yemo say anything at all. Luo Fei was very worried, but her power was too low, and wasn't able to say anything for Yemo. Jiling was too honest, and didn't know what to say. In that moment, Yemo was all by himself. Yemo's heart sunk. He knew he had to have a reason to take Susu away. If his power was strong enough, he would just say, I'm going to break this rule. What are you going to do? However, his power wasn't enough to say that. Seeing the situation go into a stalemate, a middle-aged man-woman got up and said, Elder Fan is right and sect leader Wang is also right. But since sect leader Yang can propose to Black Eye sect, so can sect leader Yi. This at least helped Yemo break the stalemate. Yemo was grateful to this beautiful woman. He heard Mi Zhangjia's sound transmission to him that this woman was 9-star sect Heaven Demon Sect's Elder Lu Yao, cauldron-filling state. Yimo gave her a grateful look, but before Yimo said anything, that Elder Fan's words almost angered Yimo to attack right on the spot. Heaven Demon Sect's Elder Lu is right. Now that sect leader Yang brought such a generous proposal gift, I've decided to marry my disciple Luo Susu into Infinity Sect. Bullshit. Yimo couldn't resist the anger anymore and pointed at Fan Lianju, cursing. What? City Lord Yi, are you going to take away Susu by force? Then I'll tell you that sect leader Yang's proposal gift isn't something other people can bring out. City Lord Yi, although you're a pill king, but can you concoct the truth realization pill? So give up. Lightning Cloud Sect's Wang Chuanhe said calmly. He wanted to make Yimo more angry but Yimo calmed down instead. He knew his downsides. He looked glorious on the surface, but he didn't have any bargaining chips except for Lu Wu, who helping him twice. Yimo suddenly sat down and said calmly, Sect Leader Wang and Elder Fan, according to your words, Susu should completely listen to Black Eye Sect and not be able to make any of her own decisions? Of course, we cultivators should respect our masters. How can the disciple not listen to the master? Wang Chuanhe repeated. But unexpectedly, Yimo looked at Lu Wu Hu. Brother Lu, so you tricked me before? Lu Wu Hu looked at Yimo in confusion. How did I trick you? Yimo said calmly, didn't you say that Infinity Sect's goddess one wasn't happy with the husband her sect arranged for her, so she would choose a husband through competition? But I just heard sect leader Wang say that she doesn't have any right to make that proposal. Even if the Infinity Sect makes her marry a dog, it seems she just has to agree. But you told a different story. Isn't this tricking me? Lu Wu, who immediately understood Yimo, he glared at Infinity Sect Yang Feiqing and Black Ice Sect Yin Guan, saying coldly, so the two sect leaders are here to play a joke on me. The initiation given to me clearly says that Goddess One is choosing her husband herself. How is it now that she has no right to choose? Do you think I'm easy to pick on? Yin Guan quickly saluted with his fists. Lu Qianbei, you've misunderstood. No matter what, we wouldn't trick Lu Qianbei. Goddess One can indeed choose her own husband. Yin Guan didn't want to say it, but he had to. If he angered Lu Wu Hu, even if he couldn't annihilate the entire sect by himself, he could cause a massive slaughter here. Oh, then I thought too much. Lu Wu Hu nodded. He knew that was already enough to help Yimo. Yimo sneered. So Goddess One can choose her husband, but Luo Susu can't. Is it because Black Eye Sect isn't as powerful as Infinity Sect, or is Goddess One prettier than Luo Susu? Or is it that Susu is my wife, and I'm the Vice City Lord of Pill City, and the Black Ice Sect looks down on Pill City? Those sects supporting Yimo praised his retaliation. Hearing this, Yin Guan and Fan Lianju's faces looked really bad. After no one spoke for a long time, Yimo suddenly slammed the table. So the Black Ice Sect thinks the Pill City is easy to abuse? Speaking such bullshit? Brother Lu, lend me a messenger flying sword. I need to message City Lord Yu. Our Pill City has fallen to such a level. Wait, City Lord Yi. I think there's a misunderstanding. Black Ice Sect is a 9-star sect. How can we force Susu to do something that she doesn't want? We'll call Susu up later and let her choose herself. Elder Fans just saying angry words. Don't think too much of it, City Lord Yi. Wait, City Lord Yi. I think there's a misunderstanding. Black Ice Sect is a 9-star sect. How can we force Susu to do something that she doesn't want? We'll call Susu up later and let her choose herself. Elder Fans just saying angry words. Don't think too much of it, City Lord Yi. Yin Guan then looked at Susu's master. Elder Fan, why don't you call Luo Susu here? We can use this opportunity to find a good home for her. Yin Guan was a bit scared. If Yu Qichao was brought here too, then things wouldn't be so easy. To be honest, if Fan Lianju wasn't domineeringly fighting against Yimo, he didn't want to have conflicts with Yimo. Yimo was such a young level 7 Pill King and the Vice City Lord of Pill City. His future was limitless. Why would he have conflict with such a person? Although the Infinity Sect's proposal gift was enticing, Yimo's origin was big too. Yimo wasn't simple himself. It was good if Susu could marry Yimo. But Fan Lianju's personality was too straightforward and created this awkward situation. Fan Lianju also seemed to know that her words weren't appropriate before. Emo was young and weak, but his background was too strong. The Black Ice sect indeed couldn't offend him. She didn't like Emo but didn't say anything. Now that Yin Guan asked about Luo Susu, she could only say, Susu is still in solitary cultivation. She hasn't finished yet. Yin Guan breathed easy and laughed. In that case, let's put this thing aside and watch the battle of the young prodigies of our sect. Our sect members can also get a chance of receiving a few pointers from the many Qianbais here. When Tsai looked at Emo and flames almost spewed out of her eyes. There was no way she wasn't jealous of Susu having such a genius husband, but Emo talking about her marrying a dog made her angry and embarrassed. She wanted to kill Emo. Yang Feiqing knew that in this situation, it was impossible to forcefully take away Luo Susu, so he could only say coldly, City Lord Yi is right, and we should indeed consider Luo Susu's opinion, but we've already brought our proposal gift. How come I don't see City Lord Ye's proposal gift? Plus, even if you took out your proposal gift now, we, Infinity Sect, brought it up first. Are you trying to go against the Infinity Sect intentionally? Yeah, he's already Vice City Lord of Pill City. Of course he needs to fight with us 9-star sects. Otherwise, how come you just mentioned this? Sect Leader Yang, and then Pill King Yi mentioned it too. Lightning Cloud Sect's Sect Leader Wang Chuana said. Haha. Emo laughed. Sect Leader Yang, you're right. How come I just mentioned to Sect Leader Yen of Black Ice Sect about Susu, and you intervened? Oh, if you don't believe me, you can ask Sect Leader Yin who asked about Susu first. Seeing everyone look at him, Yin Guan was annoyed at Yang Feiqing looking for trouble, but he couldn't lie so he could only nod. When City Lord Yi first saw me, he indeed mentioned Susu. Hearing this, everyone looked at Yang Feiqing. Many people realized that it wasn't Emo looking for trouble, but Yang Feiqing. Many people knew about the conflict between Emo and Lightning Cloud Sect, and now they wondered since when did Emo become enemies with the Infinity Sect? This City Lord Ye's trouble-causing capabilities were on par with his pill concoction abilities. Yang Feiqing's face sunk. What is City Lord Ye's proposal gift? Emo smiled calmly. I've only been in pill concoction for 10 years, and I'm already a level 7 pill king. If I say I will become level 9 pill king in 10 years, I don't think anyone would doubt me. Everyone was silent at these words as they all knew Emo wasn't lying. The hardest breakthrough wasn't level 7 to level 9, but level 3 to level 4 and level 6 to level 7. Emo was a level 7 pill king now, so reaching level 9 was just a matter of time. Other people may take thousands of years to do this, but Emo was an anomaly. So what? At least you're not a level 9 pill king now. An Earth Demon sect elder stood up and said. Emo sneered, What thing are you? Do you have the right to talk when I'm speak? Piss off. You. The elder's face was green, but he really couldn't say anything. Although they were just a 6-star sect, they were invited here by Infinity Sect. This place wants Pill City, yet Emo was being so cocky, even telling him to piss off. Even Yin Guan's face changed. This wasn't just slapping Earth Demon Sect's face, but also Black Ice Sect's face. This was on their land. Emo saw that Yin Guan was going to speak, but he immediately said to Lu Wuhu, Brother Lu, another fly here, throw him out please. We can drink again. Lu Wuhu was hoping for this. After this, it would mean he only needed to help Emo attack one more time. Then he only owed Emo one favor. Lu Wu, who reached out a cultivation essence giant hand and grabbed that elder, throwing him off Black Ice Peak. Yin Guan ate the words he was going to say. His face was red with anger, but he could only hold it in. But Emo saluted with his fists to Yin Guan. Sorry, Sect Leader Yin. I was too impulsive just then. Please forgive me. After this, I will apologize to Sect Leader Yin. Yin Guan waved his hand and said, You're being too polite, City Lord Yi. Yin Guan could only suck it up, and Emo apologized too. City Lord Yi is so domineering. He just said one thing and you threw him out. This is indeed the character of the Pill City. Yang Feiqing was shaking with anger, but there was nothing he could do. Emo looked at him and smiled. Does Sect Leader Yang feel the air is too stuffy here as well? Lu Wuhu's eyes lit up immediately hearing this. He hoped Emo would say to throw Yang Feiqing out as well. Yang Feiqing was disaster transformation state power. But facing truth realization state middle stage, peak Lu Wu Hu, he could put up no resistance. Lu Wu Hu was a madman. No one dared to mess with him. But this madman was currently Yi Mo's henchman. If he really got thrown out, he would be done for. Infinity Sect would decline from this, and he might as well die. He just sneered and didn't say anything. Yi Mo smiled and continued. By the way, where were we? I forgot. A fly just flew out. He was just threatening young Feiqing. He didn't dare to really throw him out. Lu Wu, who only had one more time of attacking for him, but even if there were countless times, he couldn't force Infinity Sect to the edge of the cliff right now. If he really pissed off a 9-star sect, and they killed him now, would the Pill City get revenge for a dead Pill King? They would at most just kill the main culprit. They wouldn't fight a 9-star sect to the death. You said just then you would become a level 9 Pill King 10 years later? That Heaven Demon Sect's woman smiled and reminded Yi Mo. Yi Mo smiled and saluted with his fists. Thanks for your reminder, sister. Next time I will concoct pills for you for free. The woman just didn't like the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect forming the South Alliance. Yi Mo said the words she wanted to say, and she was grateful to Yi Mo. Thus, she helped Yi Mo too, but because of that, she got such a huge reward. She was overjoyed. She immediately got up and said to Yi Mo, Liao, thanks City Lord Yi. Please come be a guest at our sect when you have time. We will pour flowers to welcome you. Other sect cultivators looked at Liao in envy. If they knew this earlier, they would have done the same. But some sects didn't think like that. Sword Valley was just annihilated. Only Liao dared to help Yi Mo, as she was also from a 9-star sect. Other sect cultivators looked at Liao in envy. If they knew this earlier, they would have done the same. But some sects didn't think like that. Sword Valley was just annihilated. Only Liao dared to help Yi Mo, as she was also from a 9-star sect. Yi Mo then said, after I become a level 9 Pill King 10 years later, I can help Black Ice Sect concoct 2 cauldrons of truth realization pills. I believe Black Ice Sect can afford these 10 years, right? That's just a part of the proposal gift. Second is that I can give the concoction method of Spirit Weaving Pill to Black Ice Sect's Pill Master, and I can even provide Heaven Glory Pills to Black Ice Sect with priority. As for Spirit Ranges, if Black Ice Sect wants some, I can go borrow a few. Everyone gasped for breath. It seemed that Yi Mo was bluffing when he said he would borrow a few Spirit Ranges, but it was very simple. With his support from Pill City, it was very easy to take out a few low-grade Spirit Ranges from Pill City. Yi Mo's proposal gift was countless times better than Infinity Sect's. Infinity Sect took out just 1 Spirit Range, but Yi Mo took out a Spirit Weaving Pill recipe. This recipe was enough for Black Ice Sect to benefit immeasurably. It was like the difference of giving people money and teaching them how to make money. The Infinity Sect elder sneered, "It's all hollow." Yi Mo smiled and didn't say anything. He believed Black Ice Sect's sect leader wasn't dumb. Hearing this, even Yin Guan took a cold breath in. He didn't believe Yi Mo was bullshitting. Even if Yi Mo couldn't become a level 9 Pill King 10 years later, he could concoct body condensation state to cauldron-filling state pill Kuan-filling pills. Even a few cauldrons of that was enough for Black Ice Sect. It was uncertain if the Truth Realization Pill from Infinity Sect would create a Truth Realization State cultivator, but Yi Mo could bring a constant supply of pills. It was easy to judge which was better. The Infinity Sect elders saw Yin Guan's face and knew that their gift had lost. Before Yin Guan said anything, he quickly said, "In that case, we'll fight to be her husband like for one Tsai." Yi Mo sneered. When Tsai chose that method herself, Luo Susu didn't bring that up. You have no right to say that, only Susu can decide. Now that both sides provided proposal gifts, Yin Guan preferred Yi Mo's proposal gift more. He wasn't able to reach disaster transformation state peak stage, and his divine damnation would be ready in a short time. Yi Mo's timing of 10 years later was perfect. Even if he wasn't able to concoct it, he could ask some Pill City Pill King Qianbei to do this. Yin Guan didn't doubt that at all. But Infinity Sect was also a 9-star sect whose power was much stronger than Black Ice Sect. It wasn't good to offend them as well. Yin Guan looked around and knew that only he could make up the mind. He quickly looked at Fan Lianju and said, "Elder Fan, how about you call Luo Susu over here?" Fan Lianju said stubbornly, "Susu is in solitary cultivation. She can't be disturbed. She's my disciple. I don't want my disciple to marry an useless person. We'll do as Infinity Sect proposed. Fight to be the husband. If Wonsai can choose that, why can't Susu? I'm sure that even if Susu leaves solitary cultivation, she wouldn't reject. She then looked at Emo plainly. City Lord Yi, you're some significant figure, right? I don't think you would be scared to fight for Susu. She was very annoyed and angry at Emo being disrespectful to her. She was a genius-like person as well. Even those with higher power than her would call her elder, and she was now the peak leader of Black Cloud Peak. Since when did someone say bullshit to her? She didn't want Susu to marry someone like this. Last time, when Sai said that she wanted her husband to be a worldly prodigy, so she chose this method of finding a husband. My disciple Susu is equally ranked first with her. I don't think City Lord you would think Susu is not as good Sai, so you don't dare to fight over her? Fan Lianju asked, fearing that Emo wouldn't agree. She didn't dare to be domineering anymore. Even Infinity Sect was unable to do anything the hard way, so she could only play with words. Of course Emo wouldn't think Susu wasn't as good as Wonsai, but he sneered. Whether or not I'm useless, people can discuss themselves. No matter how much I say myself, it's just boasting. Even in fighting, I'm no weaker than anyone. But I'm only Hollow Spirit State Level 1. Are you going to call an ancient being to fight me? Don't worry, those fighting you won't be much older than you. Susu is my disciple. I won't let her marry an old man. You're not the only genius on Luoyu continent. There will be plenty. Same rules as Wonsai's rules. They'll all be geniuses within 60 years of age, Fan Lianju said coldly. Emo didn't argue. Although 60 was quite old to Emo, in the cultivation realm it was just the beginning. He believed that if he couldn't even beat a cultivator younger than 60, the three-birth chant wasn't deserving of its name. He wasn't sure if there were body condensation state cultivators under 60 years of age, but there were definitely hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivators. Jingli was only 30 and already hollow spirit state level 1. If there was some cultivator like Jingli, he would be able to reach hollow spirit state peak stage for sure. Okay, since City Lord Yi agrees to this, then we'll do that, Yinguan quickly said. When Sai stood out and bowed to Yang Feiqing and then Yinguan. Yin Xin Bei, there's no right for Wan Bei to talk here, but it concerns my entire life. Please allow me to bring a suggestion. Yinguan nodded. Sai, say anything you like. You'll be one of us too, it's fine. When Sai bowed again before saying, since martial sister Susu is choosing husband from a fight like me, I think we should put the two competitions together. All the Prodigy Sect members of the big sects are here with their sections. I think the contestants shouldn't be limited to Black Eye Sect members. Any Prodigy, as long as he's young enough, can participate. If Wanbei and martial sister Susu find someone we like, we can choose ourselves too. What do you think, Yin Xianbei? Yang Feiqing didn't say anything. Emo already ruined the South Alliance thing, so it was unnecessary for Wonsai to marry into Black Eye Sect. If it was before, Yinguan would really want the marriage alliance with Infinity Sect, but after all these problems, he gave up that idea. Now that when Sai brought this up, he was very enthusiastic. Okay. Yinguan quickly said. Sai, your suggestion is very good. Now that so many prodigies are here at Black Ice Mountain, we can all see the glory of the younger generation. All the prodigies here today can join the competition. As long as Sai and Susu don't mind, you can propose. Hearing this, all the Prodigy Sect members grew excited. To them, it was the fortune from their past life to be able to dual cultivate with someone as beautiful as Wonsai. As for Luo Susu, many people wanted to, but seeing Emo's actions, they knew it was impractical. They knew that even if they beat Emo, their sect wouldn't let them marry Luo Susu. But Wonsai was different. She didn't have a husband, and she brought up this method of choosing her husband. Seeing that Lu Wu, who didn't help Emo say anything, Yinguan breathed easy. He was scared that Lu Wu, who would be domineering and forcefully take away Luo Susu. In order to preserve their face, they could only fight with Lu Wu, who, even if they won, the result wouldn't be what Yinguan wanted. Seeing that Lu Wu, who didn't help Emo say anything, Yinguan breathed easy. He was scared that Lu Wu, who would be domineering and forcefully take away Luo Susu. In order to preserve their face, they could only fight with Lu Wuhu. Even if they won, the result wouldn't be what Yinguan wanted. They would also be offending Pill City in the process. After Elder Fan brought up the tournament, Yimo didn't let Lu Wuhu forcefully attack, and Lu Wuhu didn't stand up himself. This made Yinguan breathe easy and guess the relationship between the two. If their relationship was really as Yimo said, then Lu Wuhu should have said something. Yinguan saw this detail, and so did people from other sections. They were all ancient beings. Yimo was so dominant before, but when Elder Fan brought up the competition to decide Luo Susu's husband, Yimo didn't rebuke her. The only explanation was that Yimo didn't have enough power to back him up, or Yimo was too impulsive and was tricked by Elder Fan. Yimo agreed because he didn't like when Tsai trying to challenge Susu before, saying that Susu wasn't as good as her. So he was going to make when Tsai open her eyes and see how much better Susu's husband was than the man she was going to choose. But it was indeed also because he didn't have the power to say no. Pill City was powerful, but it was only a threat. If he tried to forcefully take away Beiwei and Susu and force these 9-star sects into a corner, then a fight would break out. As long as someone held Lu Wuhu down, he would be instantly killed. After he died, what could the Pill City do? Yimo knew that if he continued to be dominant, he would anger 9-star sects for sure. Healing already attacked him, and he would have died if it wasn't for Lu Wuhu. At the same time, Yimo felt he miscalculated. He should have invited Yu Qichao. Then, no one would dare to say anything if he tried to take away Susu and Beiwei. It all came down to power. His power was low and his connections weren't enough. He was only a level 7 Pill King. He didn't have Yu Qichao and Shen Guanqing's power and connections. If they were here, perhaps with a single word 9-star sects would help them. Since the competition was necessary, Yimo thought of it as getting back at Wen Tsai for Susu. But he wasn't an idiot. Since he agreed to the competition, he couldn't keep giving them that much proposal gift. Yimo got up and said again, "Sect Leader Yin, since you choose the competition, then I will take back my proposal gift. I don't believe every sect who participates in the competition will give as much I as gave. Since Sect Leader Yin agreed to the competition, then it means you're giving up my proposal gift. Everyone needs to be equal. I don't think that just because the Black Ice sect thinks the Pill City is wealthy, I have to pay more in terms of a proposal gift to join the participants. Of course, I don't mind giving more for my proposal gift, but I don't believe the Black Ice sect would take my proposal gift and still make me fight for Susu." Hearing this, Yinguan was dazed. The reason he agreed to this competition was because regardless of whether Yimo won or lost, the proposal gift would be theirs. He had already calculated this. He didn't want to offend Infinity Sect, so let Pill City offend them. If Yimo won, then no problem, and that was the most satisfying result. But if Yimo lost to an ordinary 7-star or 8-star sect, Yimo know that those sects won't dare to fight over Susu with Yimo, so Susu would eventually be taken away by Yimo. If Yimo lost to a 9-star sect, or even Infinity Sect or Lightning Cloud Sect, with how important Susu was to Yimo, he would bargain heavily over her. Number 9-star sect could compete with Pill City, so Susu would eventually be taken away by Yimo, and he would still get the proposal gift. But now, Yimo said the proposal gift was no more. How could that be? But he just agreed to this, and now he couldn't regret. He turned around and glared at Fan Lianju coldly. If she just agreed to let Yimo take away Susu, there wouldn't be so much trouble. Although they would offend Infinity Sect, but they would connect with Pill City's level 7 Pill King. Fan Lianju calmed down now and knew what she didn't wasn't good. She had never thought of marrying Susu out. If Yimo didn't come, then she wouldn't even marry her to Infinity Sect. She rejected Core Sect members' proposals already. She agreed to Yang Feiqing because firstly, Yimo gave her a bad impression, and secondly, since she knew Susu would be taken by Yimo eventually, as even the Black Ice Sect couldn't fight with Pill City. So in her anger, she agreed with Yang Feiqing. As for agreeing to the competition, it was completely because she was furious Yimo said she was bullshitting. She calmed down now and knew what she did didn't benefit the sect at all, but she had already done it. In a room at the Black Cloud Peak, Tang Beiwei looked at Luoying in confusion. "Sister Susu, you're already Golden Core State Peak stage. Why did you suddenly come out of solitary cultivation?" A pale yellow-dressed woman sat opposite Tang Beiwei. Luoying frowned. I feel restless. It's as though something is about to happen, so I came out. Tang Beiwei heard this and said, Sister Susu, how about I ask Master and we'll go visit Qingxue? Luoying knew Tang Beiwei wanted her to go out and have some fresh air. She smiled sweetly and replied, I'm fine, but we should indeed visit her as well as Luo Fei and Yunzi. Tang Beiwei just wanted to speak when her spirit sense scanned a pink-dressed lady rushing in. Sister Susu, Martial Sister Rong is here. Martial Sister Rong. Luoying and Tang Beiwei got up. Zhao Rong looked at Susu and said desperately, Martial Sister Susu, you finished solitary cultivation? Yeah, Martial Sister Rong. What happened? Why do you seem very desperate? Luoying asked. Almost all the sect's 7-star and above came to Black Ice Peak. I heard it's for when Tsai choosing a husband. But then the news I got wasn't this. I heard the sect leader and elder fan are also using this chance to choose a husband for Susu. What do we do? Zhao Rong was worried. She didn't know who Susu's husband was, but she knew she had a husband. Impossible! Susu exclaimed with a pale face. Her master was very nice to her. She would never agree to this. This sort of thing had happened more than once and master rejected without hesitation. Sister Susu. Tang Beiwei grabbed Luoying's hand worriedly. I'll go see master, Luoying said adamantly. Zhao Rong grabbed Luoying's hand. People at the Black Ice Hall are all powerful people. You won't be able to get in. Today Infinity Sect's sect leader brought a proposal gift, and then Pill City Vice City Lord seemed to have a conflict and suddenly he wanted to take you away. So, the two started fighting, and then the sect leader agreed to choose a husband through competition like one Tsai. Pill City Vice City Lord is here too? Tang Beiwei and Susu rarely went out, so they didn't Cao Yimo was Vice City Lord. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, he's the person Ning Qingxue is married to. He was the Pill King Tournament #1. Ning Qingxue was taken away by him on the spot, and the ethereal immortal pawn didn't dare to say anything. I think today might end up the same way. Tang Beiwei and Luoying's hands shook. Now isn't the time to worry. We need to think of a way. Zhao Rong started. Did Ning Qingxue really get taken away by that city lord? Ning Qingxue didn't resist? Luoying's tone grew impetuous. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, she seemed very intimate with that city lord Yi. She was willing. How could she resist? City lord Yi? Tang Beiwei and Luoying asked at the same time. Zhao Rong nodded. Yes, he's Yimo. He's not only Pill King Tournament #1, but the honorary Vice City Lord of Pill City as well. He came to Black Ice Peak today to fight over Martial Sister Susu with Infinity Sect. Susu Beiwei, where are you going? Zhao Rong hadn't finished, but Susu and Beiwei had already charged out towards Black Cloud Peak. In the Black Ice Peak Hall, everyone was waiting for the first challenger, but Yimo suddenly walked out and stood in the middle. In the Black Ice Peak Hall, everyone was waiting for the first challenger, but Yimo suddenly walked out and stood in the middle. No one knew what he was going to do. Friends, sect leaders. I've already said and I believe everyone knows that Susu is my wife. I'm standing here today. If anyone dares to try for Susu, then come up by all means. Don't blame me for not being polite. Today is Goddess One's blissful day and I came to celebrate too, not to fight. The friend who gets Goddess One can challenge anyone, but don't challenge me. Yimo's tone suddenly grew cold. If anyone dares to try for Susu, don't challenge anyone else, just challenge me. I'll take it all. Then Yimo scanned Yang Feiqing and Wang Chuanhe coldly before glaring at Fan Lianju as he said word by word. No matter who you are, if you dare to try for Susu, come at me. When Tsai's face was green, she was ignored by Yimo again. The hall sunk into a brief silence. Such domineering words. City Lord Yi is really domineering. Infinity Sect's Nan Jinsheng wants to test if your power is as dominating as your words. A blue cultivator-robed man flew out. Only Hollow Spirit State Level 2, and he dared to challenge him. Yimo sneered. Nan Jinsheng came up and then saluted with his fists to the Infinity Sect and Black Ice Sect leaders, saying, Injuries are unavoidable in fights. If Wan Bei accidentally injures or kills City Lord Yi, what happens? Lightning Cloud Sect's Wang Chuanhe sneered. If you don't have the power, It serves you right to be killed. Otherwise, just leave and don't embarrass yourself. Nan Jinseng smiled and bowed. Thank you for your hint, sect leader Wang. Wanbei understands. Then, Nan Jinsheng waved his hand and a hexagonal bell floated above his head while a low-grade cultivation artifact golden dragon sword appeared in his hand. He looked calmly at Yimo. I'm interested in Luo Susu. What are you going to do? A mere hollow spirit state level 1 dares to be so cocky. I've long since had enough with you. As you wish. Icy cold chi was emitted from all over Yimo's body. That killing intent rose when Nan Jinsheng said he was interested in Luo Susu. Even the other cultivators in the hall could feel Yimo's endless killing intent. Some low-powered cultivators shivered subconsciously. Such powerful killing intent. A few sect leaders were stunned. With this killing intent swooping out, everyone knew that Yimo wasn't just good at pill concoction. Nan Jinsheng didn't consider Yimo a threat at all. He just didn't expect Yimo's killing intent to be this intense, and he subconsciously shivered. But before he could move, a monotone ray of purple swept over, that overwhelming killing intent growing more intense. Hua. Mountain. Strike. There was only endless killing intent for those who dared to try for Susu. He used his full-powered illusion cloud Hua Mountain Strike without hesitation. This was a strike that had no defense, only one attacking with all his might. This strike gathered all his fury. Nan Jinsheng saw his opponent hack out a longsword, more like a kitchen knife to be specific. But facing this kitchen knife, he actually felt a sliver of fear. What kitchen knife could emit such terrifying killing intent and purple rays? He subconsciously wanted to use his golden dragon sword, but he saw his cultivation essence slowed down in that instant. What sword technique was this? Nan Jinsheng was shaken. But this strike was too fast and too powerful. It was as though if this strike didn't kill him, Yimo would chase him to the ends of the world. No! Nan Jinsheng howled in despair and felt the purple ray slice down from his brow and then another clank. That was his defense bell. Yimo hacked open his defense bell and killed him. Blood mist spewed. Nan Jinsheng was killed without even being able to release his magic artifact. The hall sunk into silence. He had killed a hollow spirit state level 2 cultivator with one strike. And this was Infinity Sect core disciple Nan Jinsheng. Not only that, the two halves of the body were suddenly torn apart by the residual sword ray. The sect leaders took a cold breath in. Since when had they seen such a powerful hollow spirit state level 1? Killing a hollow spirit state level 2 with one strike, and this was splitting open the defense bell first, and then cutting him in half from the forehead down. Domineering, too domineering. Just how much anger and terrifying killing intent was needed to explode with such power? The silence lingered for a long time before Yin Guan said drily, "The first battle, City Lord Yi wins." Yang Feiqing's face was so bleak that water was about to drip out. He glared at Yimo. He didn't expect Yimo to be this strong. This man must not be left alive. If he matured, how could the Infinity Sect exist? Fan Lianju saw this and subconsciously shivered. She regretted her decision even more. Yimo was this powerful at hollow spirit state level 1. If he grew up, who could fight him? This guy was another Chujuyu. You ambushed him, one elder said in fury. Yimo clutched Zisu tightly and didn't even look at him. He was reminiscing that strike. He had achieved new enlightenment. Heaven Demon Sex Liao suddenly laughed. Elder, your eyes are really good. Even we didn't see City Lord Yi ambush, but you saw it. How come I saw Nan Jinsheng challenge City Lord Yi first and release his magic artifact? It seems I'm blind. Shut up. Yang Feiqing yelled, and that elder stopped with a red face. He was only cauldron-filling state level 1, and Liao was cauldron-filling state tertiary stage. Yang Feiqing immediately said to another elder, "Send a messenger flying sword and tell Ming Wujian and Tai Baifei to come."
Yes.
The elder immediately sent a messenger flying sword. Ming Wujian and Tai Baifei were the two most excellent hollow spirit state cultivators in Infinity Sect. They weren't the strongest in hollow spirit state, but they were the youngest hollow spirit state cultivators. Tai Baifei was hollow spirit state level 6 and Ming Wujian was hollow spirit state level 7. He was even on the hollow spirit state trial tablets. At the same time, Lightning Cloud sect and a few other sects sent messenger flying swords as well, clearly to gather excellent sect members. Yemo didn't seem to see this and fully comprehended that move before scanning around and saying coldly, "Whoever dares to try for Susu, come up. I'll take it all." At the same time, two women desperately flew over on flying swords at the entrance to the hall. They heard Yemo's voice and charged inside the hall without hesitation. The disciple guarding the entrance was about to stop them, but he was stopped by another cultivator who said, "Wait, they're Luo Susu and Tang Beiwei. Sect leader was asking for them too. Let them go in." Yemo also stopped talking and looked at the entrance of the hall with surprise and joy. Brother? Husband? Usually, Luo Ying would rather call Yemo martial brother than husband, but today the joy of reunion was inexpressible. It was like her heart was about to explode. Beiwei, Susu. Yemo's heart softened. As long as they were fine, then all was good. No matter what happened, he could take them away. He was scared to not even be able to see them. At this moment, his anger towards Fan Lianju lessened. If her master purposely targeted Susu, she wouldn't be able to see him. Luo Ying rushed into Yemo's arms, and even Tang Beiwei came up and hugged Yemo's arm. Nothing could compare with the joy of reunion. Nothing could express their feelings right now. To Yemo, he knew Susu was at Black Ice Sect, but he couldn't come and take her away. That insulting and oppressive feeling was inexplicable. No one understood it. He cultivated like crazy, risking his life, but he was still so far from those ancient beings. Before the Pill King tournament, he was worse than an insect. Now that the woman of his life was in his arms, Yemo's mood was soothed. What other pity was there when he took her back to Pill City? Many people were still immersed in Yemo's dominating strike, but now they were dazed by Yemo's soft feelings. Many people were still immersed in Yemo's dominating strike, but now they were dazed by Yemo's soft feelings. The bloody body was still on the ground, but then there was this scene of reunion. It seemed very unharmonious. Fan Lianju saw her disciple, who usually never showed any expression to male cultivators, being so intimate with Yemo. She didn't understand. Even if Yemo was her husband, she shouldn't be like that. Susu was in the cultivation realm now. Her mortal ties should have been faint if not completely severed. Even in the cultivation realm, men and women got together mostly for dual cultivation. She really didn't understand that joy of reunion. Yemo no longer had the mood to challenge and pulled Susu and Beiwei back to his seat. Susu and Beiwei spoke with Yemo for a long time before calming down. Now, Susu saw what happened in the hall and began to worry. But then she and Tang Beiwei saw her master and sect leader. They were going to greet them, but Yemo stopped them. "Don't go now." Luo Susu respected her master, but if she had to choose between her master or Yemo, she would choose Yemo without hesitation. So she sat down. Tang Beiwei didn't move either. Fan Lianju saw this and sighed. She knew she was wrong. She thought Susu would listen to her for sure, but now she knew that in her disciple's heart her status was far lesser than this city lord Yi. "Susu, Beiwei," Luo Fei called. "Luo Fei, how are you here too?" Tang Beiwei just saw Luo Fei and asked. The hall wasn't as silent as before, and there were people cleaning up the mess, but no one dared to speak while Yemo was talking. What? Sword Valley was annihilated by Infinity Sect? What about Sister Z? Tang Beiwei asked in shock. Tang Beiwei's voice was too loud, and almost the entire hall heard her. If someone else dared to do this, they would have been reproached or killed by He Ling. But no one said anything. Yang Feiqing's face was bleak as usual. He could only kill Yemo through challenge, nothing else. Luo Fei and them glared at Infinity Sect and said word by word, "Yes, I will get justice for my sect." Yemo didn't say anything. He knew he could only protect him and the few people around him for now. He was still too far from getting revenge from Infinity Sect. Yingguan saw this and breathed easy. He knew that those who would challenge Yemo now were either idiots, or those who had a feud with Yemo. Yingguan suddenly up and said, "Since City Lord Yi has gone down, those who want to fight please come up. The competition continues." No one came out for a long time. Many were shocked by Yemo's magnificent strike. In this awkward moment, a Black Ice Sect disciple got up and bowed to Yingguan and the elders as well as the sect leaders before saying, Wan Bei Black Ice Sect's disciple Zhan Shuiyong. I've long admired Infinity Sect's Goddess One. I agree to Goddess One's decision. Those who have the same idea as me can come up and challenge me. Zhan Shuiyong was ordinary looking and seemed scholarly. Zhan Shuiyong didn't even look at Wen Sai. Clearly, he didn't come for Wen Sai. He just didn't want his sect leader to be in an awkward situation. He was nascent soul state level 5 and very young. But clearly it was impossible for him to get Wen Sai. Wen Sai understood this as well and glared at Yimo and Luo Susu. There was this inexplicable anger in her heart. Yimo had been using her as an excuse from the start. Then, he killed Nan Jinxing from her sect with one strike for Luo Susu, and was being all lovey-dovey with Luo Susu now. Yimo was not only Pill City's city lord, but also a level 7 Pill King, as well as someone who could easily kill those with higher cultivation levels than him. Compared to those prodigies admiring her, Yimo was a genius amongst geniuses. Even with how talented Yuan Guanan was, he was killed by Yimo in the Truth Fall Palace. From this, it was easy to tell that Yimo was much better than Yuan Guanan. She was ranked equally first with Luo Susu in the South Peace State 10 Beauties. Now that Yimo was Susu's husband, clearly no matter who won this competition, he wouldn't be as good as Yimo. She once publicly said that Luo Susu did not deserve to be ranked equally first with her, but now her husband was so much better than her. This was slapping her face. And even Zhan Shuiyong didn't come up for her. She was more unhappy. She once swore that no matter who Luo Susu's husband was, she would steal him and then kick him back. But now she no longer had that faith. City Lord Yi wasn't interested in her the least bit. He was even disgusted by her. Heaven Yin Sect's Wang Duten. Brother Zhan, please go easy. Another nascent soul state level 6 came out. Clearly he didn't come for Wen Sai. It wasn't that Wen Sai was unattractive to him, but he knew that it was impossible to get Wen Sai with his power. Wang Duten was a 7-star core sect member and had reached nascent soul state level 6 in less than 60 years. This was rather good talent. He wanted to challenge Zhan Shuiyong because he wanted to know the difference between him and 9-star sect members at the same cultivation level. The fight between the two was a completely friendly practice fight. So it seemed very flashy, but there was no killing intent. Even though they were big sect core disciples, Yimo really didn't have the interest to watch this sort of fight. Zhan Shuiyong was smart and cunning. Compared to Wang Duten, who focused on cultivation, his fighting experience and cultivation level was a little weaker. In about 8 minutes, he was hacked out by Wang Duten and lightly injured. He lost. Zhan Shuiyong didn't come for Wen Sai, so it didn't that he lost. But at the door of Black Ice Sect, a core disciple was kicked out and injured. This immediately made other core disciples unhappy. Before Wang Duten went down, another Black Ice Sect nascent soul state level 6 cultivator flew up and said, "Brother Wang is good. Zhang Wu comes to learn of your mastery." Then, before Wang Duten could reply, a hammer-shaped magic artifact was released. Different than before, it wasn't just a practice fight. Zhang Wu attacked with full power. Sword chi and hammer shadows filled the hall. The Black Ice Sect's cauldron-filling state elders quickly set up some restrictions. Wang Duten wasn't as good as Zhang Wu and already had fought before. In less than 7 minutes, he was sent flying and splitting blood. A nascent soul state tertiary stage from Heaven Yin saw this and immediately stood up, wanting to get back. But an elder stopped him in time, clearly knowing that if this continued, the fight between Yimo and Nan Jinxing might start again. Other than Zhan Shuiyong, the other people didn't even mention Wen Sai. Clearly they didn't come to fight for her. Wen Sai's face was very bad. She was South Peace State's #1 beauty, but was ignored to this extent. Luckily, not long after, a Godwind Valley nascent soul state level 9 cultivator walked out. He saluted with his fists to Zhang Wu and said, "Godwind Valley Yutong came for Goddess One. Brother Wu, please." Zhang Wu was just here to get revenge for Zhan Shuiyong, and then he was planning to go down. Now that Yutong came up for Wen Sai, he knew he wasn't a match for Yutong, so he saluted with his fists. "Brother Yu is already nascent soul state tertiary stage. I don't think I can beat you." Zhang Wu was just here to get revenge for Zhan Shuiyong, and then he was planning to go down. Now that Yutong came up for Wen Sai, He knew he wasn't a match for Yutong, so he saluted with his fists. Brother, you is already nascent soul state tertiary stage. I don't think I can beat you. Then, he left. After Zhang Wu went down, some core disciples of big sects came to fight. They had really come for Wen Cai. The scene heated up, and finally Wen Cai wasn't in an awkward situation anymore. Yi Mo didn't watch the matches. His mind was focused on Luoying. If it wasn't that he couldn't leave now, he would have left with Luoying already. 6 hours later, a terrifying explosion made Yi Mo and them look up a little. The two fighting were Hollow Spirit State Power, one Hollow Spirit State Level 5, and one Hollow Spirit State Level 7. The Hollow Spirit State Level 5 was from Black Eye Sect, and the Hollow Spirit State Level 7 was from Nangong Village. Nangong Village was an 8-star sect. Yi Mo didn't care about this sect, but after hearing Shan Bingfeng's words, he started being attentive to this sect. They were a 9-star village before and called Fish Jump Through Dragon Gate Village. He was planning to go visit it when he was powerful enough. Now, he had met a cultivator from there. The Nangong Village cultivator was clearly more powerful than the Black Ice Sect cultivator. He had beaten the Black Ice Sect cultivator to the point of heavy injury. Seeing this, the Black Ice Sect elders and sect leaders' faces seemed very bad. The competition was brought up by Black Ice Sect and Infinity Sect, but now, Black Ice Sect had completely lost. Their last Hollow Spirit State Level 5 disciple was beaten. Nothing was more embarrassing than this as a host. They were losing their wife to other sects in front of all these big sections. But there was nothing they could do. While they did have more powerful sect members, they were older than 60 years. Even other sects didn't understand. Nangong Village was just an 8-star sect. Even if they were going to beat a Black Ice Sect member, they didn't have to do it that way. Seeing Yi Mo stare at that Nangong Village cultivator, Mi Zhongjie sound transmission. That is Nangong Village's prodigy sect member Nangong Yihui. He's Hollow Spirit State Level 7 and ranked 39th on the Hollow Spirit State Trial Tablet. He has won 12 rounds in a row. Yi Mo nodded. He didn't expect Nangong Village to be this confident and not give any respect to Black Ice Sect. A Black Ice Sect elder was the announcer, and so he had to announce. Nangong Village's Nangong Yihui claims victory. Anyone else want to challenge Nangong Yihui for Goddess One? The elder asked a few times, and no one replied. Clearly those core disciples lost the courage to fight after seeing Nangong Yihui's power. Nangong Yihui raised his lips, showing great confidence. He looked at Wen Cai, and his eyes were full of joy. Clearly to him, Wen Cai was his. But then, another square-faced cultivator walked out. Nangong Yihui had never been able to encounter an opponent. He saw it was a Hollow Spirit State Level 6 cultivator, and his eyes immediately lit up. I was troubled that no one could give me a proper fight. Friend, you came at the right time. Release your magic artifact. I'll let you have 3 moves first. Nangong Yihui waved his crescent blades. That square-faced cultivator said indifferently, "You're no match for me. I'm not challenging you, move aside." No one had dared to say such a thing up until now, and Nangong Yihui's face immediately went cold. If it wasn't that his elders repeatedly said he couldn't do what Yi Mo did and hack an enemy apart, he would have done that already. But pity, the elders said he must not kill here. This square-faced cultivator's words made him want to kill him. Then let's see how I'm not a match for you. Nangong Yihui released his crescent blades. As soon as they was released, they made a piercing sound that brought circle-like sword light that enveloped the square-faced cultivator. The rings seemed to increase endlessly. The people around knew how powerful this move of Nangong Yihui was. The crescent rings were very eerie. It was very hard to escape after being enveloped by them. Nangong Yihui was not allowed to kill here, or rarely anyone would be able to escape with their lives. That square-faced cultivator's face changed when he was trapped by the white blade circles, but he sneered and used a few hand signs. A red mist appeared around him, and the white blade rings started to dissipate. Moments later, he had completely broken free. A big bell appeared above his head, and he said coldly to Nangong Yihui, "You have the right to fight with me." But before Nangong Yihui said anything, a young cultivator came up. He seemed much more handsome and easygoing than the square-faced cultivator. He stopped the square-faced cultivator and saluted with his fists to Nangong Yihui. Sai is our martial sister. We're not here to fight over her with you. This is my martial brother Tai Bai Fei. He admires goddess Susu's beauty, and that's why he came. Martial brother Nangong, you wouldn't be interested in goddess Susu as well, right? Nangong Ihue quickly waved his hand. No, how can I? I'm only interested in goddess one. Hearing Nangong Ihue's reply, the smiling youth was a little disappointed, but he still said, now that there's no one challenging you, my martial sister is just there. You can go talk to her. Okay. Sorry for being rude before. Nangong Ihue just realized this was Goddess Wen's martial brother. If he offended him, it wouldn't be good for the future. He was Hollow Spirit State Level 7 and thought he was the #1 genius. Yet he called Hollow Spirit State Level 6 Tai Bai Fei martial brother. Clearly, he loved Wen Sai too much. After Nangong Ihue left, that smiling youth looked at him in contempt before patting that square-faced cultivator's shoulder without saying anything. However, it was clear to everyone that they came to start trouble, and maybe even kill Yimo. Yingguan realized that the Infinity Sect indeed didn't want to let Yimo go. It seemed there was quite the conflict between them. Otherwise, they wouldn't call 2 masters from the sect. From Infinity Sect to here, they came in such a short time. Even if there was a teleportation formation, they would need top-grade space transmission runes. If the Infinity Sect really killed Yimo here, then Black Ice Sect would need to take a part of Pill City's fury. Those people who had a good impression of Yimo started to sigh for him, and those angry at Yimo started to rejoice at Yimo's impending doom. After the 2 left, the square-faced cultivator said loudly, Infinity Sect's Tai Bai Fei admires Black Ice Sect's Luo Susu. I came here to challenge. I'm waiting for anyone who likes Goddess Susu. Susu looked at Yimo in confusion. She was already with Yimo. Why did someone else say that? Luckily, they couldn't tell Tai Bai Fei's power, or they would be very worried and stop Yimo from fighting. No one looked favorably at Yimo. Yimo was powerful, but the difference between him and Hollow Spirit State Level 6 was too great. That Tai Bai Fei was on par with Hollow Spirit State Level 7 Nangong Ihue, and everyone saw Nangong Ihue's power. Even Lu Yao sighed. She had just connected with Yimo, and he was about to die. Even if she wanted to help Yimo, there was nothing she could do. Yimo comforted the 2 girls and walked up to Tai Bai Fei and released Zissou. He didn't say anything, but his killing intent began to soar. Zissou also hummed as though being more keen on this battle than Yimo. You're Yimo? Tai Bai Fei sneered, and then looked at Yimo contemptuously. You're a mere Hollow Spirit State Level 1. Nan Jinxing really wasted his years of cultivation cultivating like a dog. You're Yimo? Tai Bai Fei sneered, and then looked at Yimo contemptuously. You're a mere Hollow Spirit State Level 1. Nan Jinxing really wasted his years of cultivation cultivating like a dog. Yimo said calmly, soon, you will realize that you haven't been cultivating like a human as well. Yimo hacked out Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike. Although his understanding of Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike was a level higher now, he knew that it was impossible to kill a master like Tai Bai Fei in one move. Countless purple rays flew out and completely enveloped Tai Bai Fei. Tai Bai Fei sneered and waved his hand. That huge bell started spinning above his head. Eventually, Yimo's purple sword rays clashed with the bell shadows, creating intense clanking sounds. You have some power indeed. Tai Bai Fei waved his hand, and a pale red longsword landed in his hand. At the same time, it turned into a red mist. It felt eerie that a huge man was using a red flying sword. But suddenly, Yimo felt it seemed to be cold. Suddenly, Yimo felt the space before him turning a blizzard, but the sky was covered with red snowflakes. The snowflakes weren't hexagonal but triangular. It was just a wave of snowflakes, but they were like ice pillars to Yimo. They were bone-chilling and squeezed the space around him, giving less space to move around, as though in the end he would be crushed by the snowflakes. Everyone could just see red snowflakes flying about in the hall, and the hall turning extremely cold. Tai Bai Fei danced with his long sword as though the ruler of this icy world. Meanwhile, Yimo had disappeared amongst the snowflakes. Only a few purple sword rays that seeped out made people feel that Yimo was still alive. Seeing Yimo in this predicament, Fanlianju sighed. She wasn't sighing for Yemo, but for Luo Susu. She knew how important this city lord Yi was to Susu just by seeing her reaction, but now the two just met, and he was about to be killed. Personally, she liked Yemo being killed, but she really liked her disciple Susu, far more than Tang Beiwei. Yin Guan frowned. He was beginning to think of how to explain to the Pill City and bring Black Ice Sect out of this mess if Yemo was killed. Li Yao closed her eyes. She had seen Tai Baifei's sword technique. This blood snowflake was extremely powerful and eerie. Any cultivator trapped by the snowflakes would be killed. This was because the cultivator's spirit sense and cultivation essence would get wasted more and more. If he couldn't break free right from the start, there was an even lesser chance of him breaking free later on. When cultivating to the extreme, the snowflakes were hexagonal, but Tai Baifei's snowflakes were only triangular. Even so, they were still very powerful. Luoying and Tang Beiwei got up worriedly. Sweat came out of their hands. They just saw Yemo, and now he was going to be killed? Yemo was getting more and more impetuous, being suppressed by the snowflakes. He felt his skin get colder and colder. He even felt his spirit sense and cultivation essence were being wasted to resist against the cold. Yemo could imagine that if this continued, he would never be able to break free. He ate a spirit recovery pill and forcefully used a few spirit sense strikes. After using that, Yemo immediately felt the coldness and impetuous feeling dissipate quite a bit. He quickly used Illusion Cloud Division Strike now. More snowflakes were crippled. At this moment, Yemo yelled and used Illusion Cloud Exert will strike again. At the same time, cultivators outside could see more and more purple rays popping out of the red snowflakes. At the start it was 1, 2, then 3, 4, then 10, then tens, and then hundreds. Yemo's figure became clearer and clearer as well. Soon, the purple rays were evenly matched with the snowflakes. Finally, Luo Susu and Tang Beiwei breathed easy and sat down. Tai Baifei saw Yemo break free and was a little surprised, but the he showed an even colder sneer. The bell suddenly howled and broke free from the purple sword rays, instantly pressing down on Yemo. Yemo just broke free from that eerie barrage of snowflakes. It restricted his spirit sense and rendered him unable to perfectly hack Zisu. How could he let Tai Baifei trap him in that again? When the bell shadows rose again, Yemo hacked out Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike with Illusion Cloud Division Strike and Exert will strike before. This fully unleashed Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike's power and instantly trapped Tai Baifei again. At this moment, Li Yao opened her eyes but saw Yemo break free from the red snowflakes and immediately rejoiced. She didn't expect Yemo to be this powerful, being able to break free from the blood snowflakes after being trapped inside. Thinking about how Yemo killed Nan Jinxing in one strike, she knew that Yemo was far from just a pill king. Seeing his bell being trapped by Yemo's purple sword rays again, Tai Baifei sneered and used spells faster. The red long sword seemed more and more vibrant. Yemo trapped the bell and had nothing to worry about now. He used a few more spirit sense blades. Tai Baifei felt his sea of consciousness ache and his movements slowed. He immediately broke free from Yemo's spirit sense strike, but before he could keep using blood snowflakes, he saw another vibrant purple ray come. At this moment, he felt this purple ray was so pretty. It was so vibrant as though it was going to take him to a place he should be going. He even desired to follow it. Not right. Tai Baifei instantly realized and forcefully burned some essence blood to call back the bell to block this ray. Yemo just needed this moment of time and hacked out Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike, straightforward and fearless. With this strike, the entire hall was covered in purple. This purple was not only pretty and enticing, but also seemed to have come from heaven. Some female cultivator looked at that purple ray and closed their eyes in adoration. Almost all weak-powered cultivators just wanted to have this purple ray and not think about anything. Tai Baifei felt that purple rays sweep past his head, and he heard his bones crack and his body crumble. He barely opened his eyes and looked at Yemo, speaking softly, "Such a pretty purple ray." Then, he fell down and his body broke into pieces. Yemo put away Zisu and closed his eyes. He entered a new palace of Sword Dao. He created a new sword technique. He learned this from Tai Baifei's blood snowflakes. After a moment, Yemo opened his eyes and murmured, pinching flower purple ray. The heavens are only an inch away. His strike was like a pinch of flowers, silent. When people thought this was a sword ray from the heavens, the sword ray was only an inch away. Even if they were killed, they were willing. The illusion cloud Hua mountain strike was complete. It wasn't as crude as before. It had become a lethal blow. Everyone took a cold breath in. No one understood this strike. But those above cauldron-filling state knew the terror of Yemo's strike. Even Yang Feiqing stared at Yemo with a face of shock and horror. He even forgot his anger, forgot another prodigy sect member was killed by Yemo. He was thinking that Yemo was only hollow spirit state level 1 and this powerful. When he was disaster transformation state, or even truth realization state, who would be able to stop him? At this moment, all the sect leaders were shocked. Not that Yemo was able to kill hollow spirit state level 6 Tai Bai Fei, but due to that purple ray. For almost half a minute, the hall was in complete silence. Killing someone above your cultivation level wasn't rare, but what was terrifying was Yemo's silent strike. For almost half a minute, the hall was in complete silence. Killing someone above your cultivation level wasn't rare, but what was terrifying was Yemo's silent strike. Some people could tell that Yemo used the same strike to kill Tai Bai Fei and Nan Jiansheng, but it had a completely different effect. Almost everyone thought Yemo was going to lose for sure, and he would be killed by Tai Bai Fei. But instead Yemo killed Tai Bai Fei. Only a few disaster transformation state and higher masters saw that Yemo used another attack before using illusion cloud Hua mountain strike. It caused that pause in Tai Bai Fei's movements. Yin Guan took a cold breath in. He was thinking about how to explain to Pill City Lord that Yemo was killed. But now there was a turn of events, and Yemo killed hollow spirit state level 6 Tai Bai Fei. When Sai looked dazedly at Yemo, and even forgot to be angry, she knew Yemo was very powerful. Before Yemo fought Nan Jinxing, she thought Yemo was nascent soul state tertiary stage, but he killed Nan Jinxing in one move. Clearly, he was hollow spirit state power. Nan Jinxing said Yemo was hollow spirit state level 1. She was dubious, but she still believed him. However, Yemo killed Tai Bai Fei now. Tai Bai Fei was hollow spirit state level 6. A hollow spirit state level 1 wouldn't be able to kill him. When Sai was a prodigy herself, and she was nascent soul state level 2. She knew that even if she wanted to kill nascent soul state level 6, it wouldn't be that easy, maybe even impossible. Was Yemo hollow spirit state tertiary stage? How could that be possible? She soon thought of when they first met. Yemo was only nascent soul state at that time, and he killed Lu Jinxian. Yet how long had it been, and he was hollow spirit state tertiary stage? Was there really such a genius in the world? If he really was, then the difference between him and other 9-star sect prodigies was too huge. That smiling youth cultivator wasn't able to react for a long time. He didn't believe that Tai Bai Fei would be killed by Yemo so cleanly. But after another minute, he finally realized this was reality. Yemo really killed Tai Bai Fei, and his body was turned in a bloody mist. "I'm going to kill you." That youth cultivator's face snarled, and without hesitation he charged into the middle and released a dark gourd. Yemo knew about the Infinity Sect. They were a sect that focused on sword cultivation, but this youth used a black gourd. "Wujian, come back," an elder yelled, but that cultivator was filled with rage. Yemo sneered. This Wujian was hollow spirit state level 7, but he wasn't scared at all. He waved and Zisu appeared in his hand. That young cultivator saw Yemo's actions and forcefully stopped his impulse of running up. He slowed down and even his face became extremely calm. He then turned around and bowed to Infinity Sect. That elder saw this and breathed easy. From the bottom of his heart, he didn't want that young cultivator to go up. Yemo's performance was too strong, no weaker than any hollow spirit state tertiary stage. Now that this young cultivator calmed down, he wasn't as worried. The only confusion was when Ming Wujian had obtained a gourd magic artifact. That young cultivator let the black gourd float around him and said coldly to Yemo, "You have balls. You dare to kill our Infinity Sect's hollow spirit state core disciple. I'm Infinity Sect's Ming Wujian. Don't worry, I will let you die with my martial brother Tai Bai Fei." I will take care of that Luo Susu for at least a few years. Yimo's killing intent rose crazily when Ming Wujian talked about Luo Susu. A faint purple mist had already formed around Zisu. Ming Wujian sneered and used a few hand signs. The gourd suddenly made a thunderous rumble and began to expand, becoming 2 meters long and 1 meter wide in size. Yet, it still seemed to be expanding. Yimo looked at the dark gourd's mouth and felt a little uneasy. He felt his spirit sense couldn't scan in at all. Without hesitation, Yimo took out his octagonal cauldron and hacked out. Seeing this, everyone was dazed. It was obvious that the octagonal cauldron was a top-grade defense magic artifact. Yet Yimo didn't even use when he killed Tai Bai Fei. This guy was a madman. Yang Feiqing's face grew bleaker. He felt more and more that he must kill Yimo as early as possible, but he was here with Lu Wuhu today. Other than attacking together, there was no Infinity Sect cultivator that could single-handedly kill Lu Wuhu. No one recognized this octagonal cauldron, but Wen Tsai knew it. She saw Martial Brother Yuan get it in the Truthfall Palace. She was now even more certain that Yimo killed Martial Brother Yuan. Ming Wujian saw this and was dazed but ignored it soon. He even didn't care about Yimo's purple sword rays. He waved his hand and countless black lines reached out from his gourd. Those black lines were extremely fast and had an ear-piercing and spirit sense-hurting screech to them. After the first wave of purple sword rays were blocked, more purple sword rays were swept away. Yimo thought of that Imo Chinli he killed in North Far State. His evil soul strands were similar to this, but they had no sound. These ones had screeching sound and were faster. Yimo soon saw that they weren't strands but small bugs. They were all black and not only had wings but also sharp teeth. Strangely, they only had 1 leg each. These bugs were extremely fast and dense. Yimo could only use the octagonal cauldron to protect himself as it spun faster and faster. But the bugs seemed endless and soon doubled in numbers as they clashed against the octagonal cauldron. Yimo felt it was harder and harder to control the octagonal cauldron. The octagonal cauldron slowed down and thus, its defenses dropped. At this rate, if the octagonal cauldron stopped, he would be swept away by these bugs. He knew that if they all came on him, not even a single bone of him would be left. Yimo was unhappy. He wanted to fight with a cultivator who could take on his illusion cloud strikes and fight head-on in a clash, but no one was able to satisfy him. He killed Nan Jinxing in 1 strike. Tai Bai Fei used blood snowflakes, and now this Ming Wujian used countless bugs to attack. Yimo used illusion cloud division strike again, but before the purple sword rays formed, they were devoured by those bugs. Such powerful bugs, they could even devour sword rays. Yimo didn't keep using Zisu. His spirit sense was barely able to control the octagonal cauldron, much less control Zisu. The key to illusion cloud was spirit sense. The more powerful the spirit sense, the more powerful the purple sword rays. Yimo had many means, and he didn't believe he couldn't deal with these bugs. He used Mist Lotus Heart Fire the next moment. He didn't have a Heaven Flame cultivation method, but it should be fine to burn these bugs. The cultivators saw Yimo release Heaven Flame and knew these bugs were done for. Heaven Flame could easily burn any bug. Yet, Ming Wujian just sneered at this. The Mist Lotus Heart Fire went into the middle of the bugs. Countless bugs fell down, but in a brief moment, more came up. Yimo frowned. He used Mist Lotus Heart Fire and burned, and there were indeed some dead, but more weren't dead. Yimo was shocked. What bug was this that even Heaven Flame couldn't burn? Although the level of the Heaven Flame was low, he was sure he could even burn a body condensation state peak stage cultivator to death if he let him. He suddenly thought of a spirit bug that was on thing and his face turned dark. Yang Feiqing clearly could see that Ming Wujian wasn't used to controlling these bugs. It was very hard for him. Clearly, he either just got these bugs or someone had just taught him. Yimo realized it was no wonder these bugs weren't afraid of his Heaven Flame. Luckily, his Heaven Flame was red level and could burn some. Otherwise, if the flame was still yellow, it might instead feed them. Yimo felt his octagonal cauldron get slower and slower. It was already a bit hard for him to use Heaven Flame and octagonal cauldron at the same time. Yemo couldn't let this continue. He really wanted to use 11 lightning swords. People already knew he killed Tian Alfing. It was no big deal to use it now, but just when he wanted to use it, he saw Ming Wujian's face get pale. His each hand sign and spell was barely able to be used. Ming Wujian didn't keep these bugs, Yemo immediately thought. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this hard for him to control. Thinking about how cunning Ming Wujian was, Yemo wasn't sure if he was putting up this act, so he sent out an extreme-grade spirit artifact flying sword at Ming Wujian. Even with that, his sea of consciousness rumbled. Ming Wujian was shocked to see that Yemo could still use flying sword. But then, he spat another mouthful of essence blood and more fire-eating bugs came out of the black gourd. But soon, Yemo saw that the flying sword he sent was rapidly devoured. He exclaimed, "These bugs were too powerful." But now, Yemo no longer intended to use 11 lightning swords. Ming Wujian was unable to control the fire-eating bugs well. He only needed to summon Shadowless to ambush Ming Wujian. Yemo silently let Shadowless out. He wanted to let Shadowless ambush Ming Wujian, but what he didn't expect was as soon as Shadowless came out, he shrieked in excitement. What was this? Yemo was dazed. If he was going to enter the scene in that high-fashion way, how was he going to ambush? But Yemo saw Shadowless didn't listen to him and instead dashed into Ming Wujian's black gourd in a golden beam. Yemo was shocked. What was this? But soon, he felt something was wrong. Those fire-eating bugs attacking the octagonal cauldron began to retreat and become chaotic. Some even flew away. Luckily, there was a restriction and they couldn't escape anywhere. The fire-eating bugs blocked by the restriction flew around like flies, but most rushed to that black gourd. Ming Wujian looked at the chaotic fire-eating bugs and shivered, murmuring, "Not a spirit bug, not an immortal, not number 1 shadowless worm. There really is shadowless worm." Yemo wasn't struggling like before. He ate a spirit recovery pill and was about to release Zisu. Shadowless didn't go ambush Ming Wujian, but instead went into the gourd. That at least helped him. But soon, he stopped using Zisu. Not because Ming Wujian was pale-faced and shaking, but because the black gourd was beginning to contort as though it was going to explode. With a rumble, a hot wave swept out. Yemo let the octagonal cauldron shield him and quickly went to contact Shadowless. Shadowless was his important helper. He must not be blown dead. Luckily, he soon felt Shadowless. When Shadowless came out of the explosion, it wobbled around as though it was drunk. The golden body turned gray again. Without much thought, Yemo sent Shadowless into a spirit beast ring. He didn't want to show the golden page world here. Even the restrictions were shaking with that explosion. He didn't understand why Shadowless didn't die. But large amounts of fire-eating bugs fell down and died. Some that were still alive rushed at Yemo and Ming Wujian like crazy. Yemo had the octagonal cauldron, but Ming Wujian didn't, and was soon devoured into nothingness. After that, the fire-eating bugs flew around and didn't find the black gourd. Then, they all fell to the ground and turned black. Yemo was disgusted and released his heaven flame to burn the black things completely as well as the dead bodies. After the burning smell, the space seemed to have stabled and an orange flame appeared before Yemo Li Ming fire, ranked 9th amongst the flames in the cultivation realm. It was a heaven flame. There was a heaven flame inside Ming Wujian's gourd. But Yemo knew that there was no way it was going to be his. Yang Feiqing's face lit up seeing this, but before he could take it, Yemo said to Lu Wuhu, "Brother Lu, you can have this Li Ming fire." "Haha, okay, I'll take it." Then, he reached out a cultivation essence giant hand and grabbed the flame. Yemo breathed easy. He knew that with his ability, it would take at least 7 minutes to take the flame. By this time, Yang Feiqing would have already taken it. Now that Lu Wuhu took it, Yang Feiqing wouldn't even dare to ask for it. Yang Feiqing saw this and his face changed. He saluted with his fists. "Lu Qianbei, this Li Ming fire is my Infinity Sect member Ming Wujian's. Please give it back." Lu Wuhu took out a jade box and sealed the Li Ming fire inside before looking coldly at Yang Feiqing. Since when in the cultivation realm was it that after a fight, the belongings of the dead would be returned to his sect? How come I heard that the belongings are taken by the victor? The Liming fire has been out for a long time. If I Lu Wu who wanted to rob it, I would have long taken it. Do I need to wait till now? Just then, Brother Yi gave the Liming fire to me. Everyone heard this. Are your ears defective, sect leader Yang? Lu Wu who took out a jade box and sealed the Liming fire inside before looking coldly at Yang Feiqing. Since when in the cultivation realm was it that after a fight, the belongings of the dead would be returned to his sect? How come I heard that the belongings are taken by the victor? The Liming fire has been out for a long time. If I Lu Wu who wanted to rob it, I would have long taken it. Do I need to wait till now? Just then, Brother Yi gave the Liming fire to me. Everyone heard this. Are your ears defective, sect leader Yang? Everyone knew Lu Wu Hu's character. He never made a losing deal but never robbed a Wan Bei's things, no matter how good they were. This was why he could earn the respect of the entire cultivation realm. But if you gave him something, it was impossible to earn it back. Everyone heard that Yimo gave the Liming flame to Lu Wu Hu. Yang Feiqing was furious, but there was nothing he could do. He glared coldly at Yimo. Even the rivers couldn't express his hatred for him. After killing their prodigy Yuan Guannan, he had killed 3 more Infinity Sect Hollow Spirit State prodigies in front of his eyes. But there was nothing he could do. He regretted calling Ming Wujian out. Now the fire-eating bugs were dead. He was annoyed at Ming Wujian for hiding this and not reporting it. On top of that, he foolishly showed it to everyone. But Yang Feiqing wronged Ming Wujian as he had only just got the bugs and didn't know their glorious past. When he got the black gourd and the jade slip introducing the bugs, he was overjoyed. He immediately destroyed the jade slip and focused on feeding them. He even grew rusty on his sword Dao. But he didn't mind. He used the fire-eating bugs in battle a few times. They were invincible. No one knew that he killed a body condensation state level 1 with fire-eating bugs. That's why to him, these bugs were invincible. But the jade slip he got also introduced something else, shadowless worm. If the fire-eating bugs encountered shadowless worm, they would immediately begin to worry. It also said that the shadowless worm wasn't a spirit bug. It usually wouldn't appear in the cultivation realm, but he was unlucky and encountered the shadowless worm that shouldn't appear in the cultivation realm. Yimo's shadowless worm was hidden, but a few people still saw it. They just weren't sure. With Lu Wu Hu standing behind Yimo, no one dared to ask. Although many people were guessing what it was that Yimo released later and flew into the black gourd, they could only think about it. Due to Yimo's arrival, many sects stopped their prodigy sect members. Yimo was too absurd. Only a body condensation state cultivator could surely kill him, but a 60-year-old body condensation state cultivator was too rare. Wang Chuana said with a bleak face, even if Fei Yu and them are here, they're not allowed to fight. They're no match for Yimo. He's not someone who can be killed by a cultivator of the same level. The 2 cultivators who came from Lightning Cloud sect didn't agree, but their sect leader already said this so they could only hide. When Sai looked coldly at Yimo until Nangong Yihue was really annoying her. Then she said calmly, "My husband must be number 1, but you haven't beaten number 1 City Lord Yi. I can't love you." Nangong Yihue was dazed. He didn't see when Sai kicked him away when he came. Why did she want him to challenge City Lord Yi? He didn't consider Yimo a threat before, but now that Yimo killed Tai Bai Fei and Ming Wujian, he knew Yimo was not weaker than him. When Sai sneered and didn't say anything, Nangong Yihue quickly said, "Martial sister Tsai, that City Lord Yi didn't say he was interested in you." As though feeling his words were inappropriate, he quickly changed to, "That City Lord Yi said those who came for you shouldn't challenge him." When Tsai's face went cold, "But I like him because he's the strongest. If you can beat him, I can like you immediately. But if you don't even dare to challenge him, and you say you like me, is it not embarrassing? When Tsai like the number 1, I only won the number 1. If you're scared you can't beat him, I'm not forcing you to go." Then, she couldn't be bothered talking to Nangong Yihue. Nangong Yihue was dazed. He didn't expect this, but looking at Wen Tsai, if he didn't go challenge Yimo, he would have no chance at all. Thinking about this, Nangong Yihue nodded. "Okay, I will challenge City Lord Yi. I will make the person who likes you be number 1. Wen Tsai showed a smile and said softly, "Then be careful, that purple ray of his is very strong." I know. Nangong Ihue's heart was overjoyed hearing these words from Wansai. Yimo wanted to go back to his seat, but saw Nangong Ihue quickly stop him. But before Nangong Ihue could speak, an elder from Nangong village yelled, "Ihue, come back first." Nangong Ihue smiled to Yimo, "City Lord Yi, just wait a bit. I'll come fight with you soon. Don't worry, I'm not here for Goddess Susu. I'm here for Tsai." Yimo smiled. He could tell that Nangong Ihue was an idiot and was being used by Wansai to fight with him. Indeed, Nangong Ihue only went back a while, and that elder said to Yimo, "Ihue is injured. He won't be able to fight today. Please forgive us, City Lord Yi." Yimo also saluted with his fists. Brother Nangong is Hollow Spirit State Level 7 and won more than 10 matches in a row. Even Yimo is no match for him. Then, Yimo went back to his seat. That elder was very happy with Yimo's answer. He didn't let Nangong Ihue fight not because he was scared of Yimo, but just didn't want him to be used by that Wansai. Seeing no one else challenging Yimo, Yinguan got up and said, "All sorts of prodigies showed up today, and although some were injured, that was unavoidable. Luckily, we have successfully come to an end. City Lord Yi is able to leave with his loved one, our core disciple Susu." Susu got up and bowed to Yinguan here. "Susu thanks sect leader and thanks master." Yinguan smiled, but Fanlianju's face was bleak. Then, Yinguan continued, "Infinity Sect Goddess 1. That elder who spoke with Yimo intervened. "Thank you, sect leader Yin. Our sect will propose to Infinity Sect." Yinguan breathed easy. After this Nangong village elder said this, he didn't even greet Infinity Sect. Clearly, they didn't intend to propose at all. Luckily, this elder said this, or he really wouldn't know what to say. From Wansai's expression, everyone could tell she wasn't interested in Nangong Ihue at all. Neither was the Infinity Sect interested in Nangong village. No one was interested except that Nangong Ihue. Then okay, the competition will end here today. Black Eye Sect is grateful for all the sect leaders and elders who showed up. If you have time, you may stay here for however long you want. You will be our VIP. A round of applause sounded. Everyone knew these were just polite words. The Black Eye Sect wanted them to leave as early as possible. Black Eye Sect and Infinity Sect invited everyone here for the South Alliance. But now after the competition, Yinguan didn't mention this at all. Clearly, he felt this matter wasn't good. Yang Feiqing and the Infinity Sect elders didn't say anything about it as well. Even the Black Eye Sect didn't support this. Clearly, this South Alliance wasn't plausible. This was all because of that Yimo. All Yang Feiqing could think about now was how to kill Yimo. Even though Yimo had Lu Wuhu, if he used all of Infinity Sect's power, he would have a chance to kill Yimo. Infinity Sect had 5 truth realization states, and if they worked with Lightning Cloud Sect to trap Lu Wuhu first and then kill Yimo, it wouldn't be hard. They'd already brought the conflict to the surface, so they might as well be quick and fast. He didn't believe Pill City would fight 2 9-star sects to the death for a dead Yimo. Yimo scanned casually. Yang Feiqing's face was icy cold. Yimo subconsciously shivered. He estimated that this Yang Feiqing probably wouldn't rest until he killed him. Even with Lu Wuhu, Yang Feiqing might calculate him into part of his schemes too. Yimo scanned casually. Yang Feiqing's face was icy cold. Yimo subconsciously shivered. He estimated that this Yang Feiqing probably wouldn't rest until he killed him. Even with Lu Wuhu, Yang Feiqing might calculate him into part of his schemes too. No, he couldn't continue like this, or he would be at an absolute disadvantage. He wasn't worried about going from Black Ice Sect to Pill City, but of how to get to MOU City after Pill City. Thinking about this, Yimo got up and saluted with his fists to some cultivators. "Sect leaders and elders, it's my honor to be able to gather with you guys here today. When I go back to Pill City, I will be staying there for a month. After that, I will go back to MOU City. In order to thank everyone's support, 1 month later, those friends who can come with me to MOU City and are above cauldron filling state, I will concoct for them a cauldron of pills for free. The pill has to be below heaven grade level 7. Almost all the cultivators stopped their feet and looked at Yimo fervently. 1 cauldron of heaven grade level 7 pills. Even truth realization state or disaster transformation states would find it hard for other people to concoct for them, much less cauldron-filling state. Pill City Lords could help people concoct heaven-grade level 7 pills. But were they willing? Even if they were willing, would you be able to pay the price? Many cultivators were thousands of years old and had a large store of spirit herbs. However, the trouble was they didn't have someone to concoct pills for them. Now that EMO gave this promise, it was like gold raining from the heavens. Liao nodded. This was EMO using his natural advantage. There was almost no cauldron-filling state cultivator who wouldn't want this. Before the excitement ended, EMO dropped another bombshell. Everyone knows this and I've said it before. I believe I can reach level 9 Pill King in 10 years. So I'll promise here again that those friends coming with me to MOU City 1 month later, if their disaster transformation state within 100 years, I can make a cauldron of heaven-grade level 9 pills for them. If a truth realization state friend comes with me to MOU City then after I reach level 9 Pill King, I will make 10 cauldrons for them. He even wanted to pull truth realization state cultivators to MOU City. Emo's words immediately let people realize what was going on. He was trying to get some bodyguards. Despite this, there were quite some people wanting to go with EMO. As long as they went with him to MOU City, they could get a free cauldron from a level 7 Pill King. Who wouldn't want this? City Lord Yi, then we'll go with you to Pill City now and stay in Pill City for a month before going with you to MOU City. How about it? Liao smiled. Yi Mo knew Liao was helping him and immediately saluted with his fists. I would love that, thank you Sister Yao. City Lord Yi, your mouth is really sweet. Liao smiled. Perhaps me and my sect's truth realization state elder will go with City Lord Yi. Yi Mo was overjoyed. With Liao's words, many sects had decided to send an elder to Pill City. Infinity Sect's Yang Feiqing's face was very cold. He knew he had miscalculated one thing, and that was Yi Mo's Pill King identity. Yi Mo's level 7 Pill King power was fully showcased here. It was their gathering to pull allies, but now it became a place for Yi Mo to rally support. Yang Feiqing was so angry he was about to spit blood, but there was nothing he could do. He had gotten so many masters to support him here, and if he went to Pill City and called out, there would be a few more truth realization states as well. But the Infinity Sect suffered so greatly at Yi Mo's hands, there was no way he would let Yi Mo go. He also knew that since Infinity Sect annihilated Sword Valley, the feud between them was unable to be resolved. Wang Chuanhe fell silent now. Yi Mo was just hollow spirit state power and easily dissipated the South Alliance. At the same time, he got so much support. Lightning Cloud Sect only lost one Tian Alfing. Should they keep fighting with Yi Mo? Infinity Sect fought with Yi Mo and lost 4 Prodigy Sect members already, and Yi Mo was only Hollow Spirit State level 1. But he was almost invincible in Hollow Spirit State. What if he reached Body Condensation State or Cauldron Filling State? Wang Chuanhe, who was adamant on killing Yi Mo, felt his thought wavering. Yi Mo didn't reject any sect who wanted to connect with him. He welcomed all those who wanted to go with him to MOU City. Luoying knew that Yi Mo was going to take them away immediately, so she brought Beiwei to Fan Lianju and bowed. She felt that Yi Mo didn't seem to be friendly to her master, but her master was really nice to her. Fan Lianju sighed. Cultivate hard. For you, cultivation is the most important. Yes, master. Luoying was happy that she was able to be with Yi Mo, but she couldn't rebuke her master's words. Fan Lianju gave a rainbow handkerchief to Luoying and another pair of cloud boots to Tang Beiwei before saying, Master doesn't have anything good. I got these 2 cultivation artifacts in my earlier years. Now I'll give them to you. Luoying and Tang Beiwei took these things and thought, without their master, they wouldn't be in a good situation and felt quite sentimental about leaving Black Ice Sect. Fan Lianju smiled. When your cultivation levels are high, you can come back and visit Master. Especially Susu. If your husband wasn't Pill City Lord and a level 7 Pill King, Master would never let you leave Black Ice Mountain. Yingguan saw this and breathed easy. He brought a disaster transformation state elder to Yi Mo and said, City Lord Yi, Yin congratulates you on your reunion with Susu. Elder Shi is our disaster transformation state elder and my martial brother. In order to celebrate your return to MOU City, he will come with you. I hope you don't mind. Yemo laughed. Of course he wouldn't mind. The more masters who went with him, the better. Even though he knew they came for the cauldron of pills, he was grateful. Many days later, in Pill City, those who came with Yemo to Pill City and wanted to go to Mou City were arranged to stay at VIP places in Pill City. Luoying, Ning Qingxue, Tang Beiwei, Luo Fei and them reunited again and were very happy. They caught up and were very emotional. When they came to South Peace State, they went around everywhere. Luckily, Susu's master arranged places for them, or they wouldn't dare to think about their predicament. Only Yunzi was lost. Luoying and them knew that Yiling and Song Yangzhu, as well as Su Jingwen, were still in North Far State. Yemo said he would go bring there to Mou City after they returned to Mou City. They knew how hard it was to bring this many people over, but everyone believed in Yemo. He came to Luoyu later, but was far ahead of them. It had been 2 or 3 years, and he needed to bring them back. He wanted to find Lu Wuhu to see if he could make a top-grade flying magic artifact for him to fly back. Yemo was going to find Lu Wuhu, but Lu Wuhu was more desperate to find Lu Wuhu. There were too many people on the road, and Yemo was with his Susu. He didn't even get an opportunity to speak. Now, he had to ask Yemo. Yemo was pulled inside the house before he even walked in. When Yemo actually went inside the inner room, he was dazed. There was another small dimension here. It was spacious and luxurious. The spirit chi was so dense that he didn't dare to imagine. There was at least a low-grade spirit range here. Stop acting shocked. You have much better things than me. I only have this spirit range. You probably don't even consider it valuable. Heaven flame, earth flame, that pill cauldron, and that octagonal cauldron. Hee, especially that kitchen knife. Lu Wuhu smiled. Do you have something important that you called me over so desperately? Yemo quickly changed the topic. If this old guy wanted to take his things by force, there really was nothing he could do. Lu Wuhu glared at him. How can I be interested in your things? That's good, that's good. My things aren't worth money, Yemo quickly said. Lu Wuhu said in contempt, not worth money? The thing you annihilated, the fire-eating bugs, is shadowless worm, right? Other people can't tell, but I can. Lu Wuhu got up and waited excitedly for Yemo to reply. Yemo nodded. He had to admit it. It was because he had long since known that his little pet was shadowless worm. Yemo nodded. He had to admit it. It was because he had long since known that his little pet was shadowless worm. But Yemo didn't know anything about it. Thing didn't it introduce either. It really is shadowless worm. Lu Wuhu became excited. He clapped his hand and walked excitedly in circles, but then shook his head. Pity, pity. Such a legendary thing is being wasted by you. I would rather you waste a few more South Peace State 10 beauties than. Seeing that Yemo's face looked bad, Lu Wuhu rubbed his hands and smiled. I'm joking, I'm joking. Yemo ignored him. He had quite a few things that were legendary things, but he still got them. There were too many legendary things. Juqian's one purple flare was also legendary. Even the fire-eating bugs he annihilated weren't seen everywhere. Lu Wuhu rubbed his hand and said, once the shadowless worm approves of a master, it will never change it, so don't worry, I won't scheme for it. But the shadowless worm has a specialty, and that is each time it evolves, it envelopes itself in silk. Have you seen this? Yemo remembered that and thus took out a ball of white silk and asked, are you talking about this? That's right, that's right. Lu Wuhu took it from Yemo's hand and said, yes, yes, it's this. This was the second time Yemo saw Lu Wuhu so excited. The first time was when he took out the bitter bamboo leaf. Such a good thing. Forgery treasure. Lu Wuhu exclaimed. Yemo said plainly, Brother Lu, I know it's forgery treasure, but after you're done looking at it, can you give it back? Lu Wuhu looked at Yemo with some awkwardness, but didn't give it back. Seeing that Yemo didn't talk for a while, he said embarrassedly, how about I help you concoct something or attack for you 3 times and owe you? Stop. Yemo waved his hand. You still owe me from last time, and now here we go again. Lu Wuhu felt more awkward but didn't want to let go of the silk strand. Suddenly he seemed to have thought of something. He took out 3 jade boxes and opened them in front of Yemo. Have a look yourself. Take it if you like. After seeing these things, Emo took a cold breath in. He thought he had a lot of good things, but now seeing the things Lu Wu-Hu took out casually, he immediately realized that he was a beggar compared to Lu Wu-Hu. There was level 8 material Dark Ice Marrow, level 8 Spirit Herb Illusion Magic Flower, and even one Flame Lotus Heart. Kongyi gave him one before, and now Lu Wu-Hu had one too. Luckily, he hid his Mist Lotus Heart Fire in the Golden Page world as soon as he came to Pill City, or else it would have been found out by this guy. Emo knew that the Flame Lotus Heart was a top-grade item. It might not be very good for forgery, but it was very useful to him. Yet Lu Wu-Hu was willing to take this out. This could let his Mist Lotus Heart Fire upgrade. This guy knew he had the Mist Lotus Heart Fire and didn't take it out last time. Yet this was just his casual offer. One could see how many good things he has stored away. Emo suddenly regretted giving him the bitter bamboo leaf for just a few times of helping him. What was Shadowless Worm? How could Lu Wu-Hu take the silk it made so seriously? Suddenly, Emo even wanted to learn forgery himself. What if this silk was a very good thing? Then wouldn't he lose greatly? Putting that aside, Emo looked at these things. He wanted all of them. But before he could speak, Lu Wu-Hu said, "Brother Yi, since you know the use of the Shadowless Worm silk, you should know that its first silk has the lowest value. You can only choose one." Emo was dumbfounded. He didn't know shit. Emo knew that he could only get more things out of Lu Wu-Hu if he said he knew the value. Now that Lu Wu-Hu said this, didn't that mean he could only choose one? Suddenly, Emo felt things weren't right. If the silk could only swap with one item, Lu Wu-Hu wouldn't take out this many. He only needed to take out the Flame Lotus Heart. He would take it for sure. Since he took out Flame Lotus Heart as well as many other things, it meant he was so desperate for it. So he took out something that was equivalent in value to the silk. The last sentence might be Lu Wu-Hu testing him. Thinking about this, Emo said calmly, "Brother Lu, don't try to scam me, please. I'm a level 7 Pill King. I don't need to say the value of the Shadowless Worm silk." Then, Emo said, "I'll take all of it." He then moved those jade boxes close to him. Lu Wu-Hu saw this and didn't get angry. "Okay, but you must agree that the next time your worm makes silk you need to give it to me, at least 3 times. Emo quickly said, "That's fine that you have a proposal, but so do I, and that is that you let me study your forgery manual." "You want to learn forgery as well?" Lu Wu-Hu looked at Emo in disbelief. "You're a Pill King and a Formation Great Master. Now you want to learn forgery?" Emo scratched his head and said in embarrassment, "It's a bit troublesome to ask you every time." Okay, you can be my disciple." Lu Wu-Hu rubbed his hands and grew excited. Emo suddenly stared at Lu Wu-Hu and asked, "Brother Lu, how many level 9 forgery grandmasters are there in South P State?" "Around 7 or 8, Lu Wu-Hu said. "Then what about Pill Kings above level 7? Emo asked. "About 4 or 5. Lu Wu-Hu suddenly felt that Emo had bad intentions. "Then you want me, a level 7 Pill King who is rarer than forgery grandmasters, to be your disciple? What do you think the old Pill Kings in Pill City would think?" Emo took the jade boxes and asked calmly. Lu Wu-Hu smiled. I'm joking. Here, this is a forgery manual." Lu Wu-Hu threw a jade slip to Emo. Emo saw that Lu Wu-Hu wanted to send him off, but he said slowly, "Brother Lu, you told me last time you would help me forge, and I haven't had time to find you. I came today just for that. Of course, if it's beyond a cultivation artifact, I would love it even more." Lu Wu-Hu said unhappily, "I knew it. Tell me, what do you want?" Emo said, "I want an extreme grade flying magic artifact that can fly from South P State to North Far State." "What?" Lu Wu-Hu interrupted before Emo finished. "Are you dreaming? Even if you have that, you can fly from South P State to North Far State yourself? The ancient beings in the Heartless Sea would have devoured you countless times. Even I need to use a lot of effort to go from South P State to North Far State without taking the teleportation formation." Emo asked again, "Just tell me, can you do it or not?" Lu Wu-Hu smiled. "Even if I can make it, do you have the materials? It needs special flying materials. Even I can't gather them all." Emo took out a few materials and asked, "What about these things?" Lu Wu-Hu saw these things and his eyes were unable to move anymore. 9 feather golden eagle's tail feather, a level 10 material. Huang star rock, a level 9 material. Half extreme great star sand, a level 9 material. He stared at Emo. Where did you get all this from? Huang star rock and the tail feather are the most suitable materials to concoct flying magic artifacts. Did you long want to concoct a flying magic artifact? That's why you were searching around everywhere? That's right, Brother Lu. Can you tell me if it can be made? Emo said helplessly. That was all he had. Lu Wuhu nodded. Of course it can, but it's missing a main material. I happen to have a top-grade 10,000-year Lu wood heart. I'll give it to you as well. I'll even add a bit of that bitter bamboo leaf. But even with this top-grade flying magic artifact, your power is a bit... Emo knew that his power was too low. What sort of flying magic artifact do you want? Lu Wuhu asked. What sort of flying magic artifact do you want? Lu Wuhu asked. Emo thought and said, one that is stealthy but also fast. Okay, come pick it up half a month later. Lu Wuhu picked up those jade boxes. What? Emo asked in confusion. Lu Wuhu took out a small black rock from the jade box containing the Huang Star Rock and looked at it excitedly. World Rock? There really is World Rock. There really is World Mountain. There really is... He suddenly looked up at Emo and said, you not only have bitter bamboo, but also World Rock. How do you have so many other worldly things? Emo cursed. He found this piece from the ruin of Yubaishan. He found that there was a material he didn't know once he got the jade box containing the Huang Star Rock. When he came to World Mountain, he realized that it was World Mountain Rock. But he already got a huge block of World Rock from the World Mountain. He didn't care about this little piece, so he didn't even do anything about it. But now, Lu Wuhu saw it today, and this was really lethal. Seeing Lu Wuhu stare at him, Emo could only say, I found this small rock and the bitter bamboo leaf at the bottom of that big lightning mountain in Truth Fall Palace Forbidden Grounds. I didn't know it was World Rock. If you need it, then take it. It really has no use for me. Lu Wuhu looked at Emo dubiously for a long while before saying, your luck is too absurd. Luckily, Lu Wuhu didn't delve deep into it. He took out that small piece of World Rock and said, the mass of the World Rock increased 10 times for every time its volume doubles. No one can explain why it is so, because this is an utmost pinnacle forgery material. You really have a lot of good things. Go back first, don't worry. I'll add some extra materials for your dark cloud pike since I got your World Rock. Lu Wuhu knew Emo was lying, but he couldn't do anything about it. He didn't suspect that Emo had more World Rock or bitter bamboo leaves, as those things were too rare. Even getting a little bit required insane luck. Emo breathed easy and quickly left Lu Wuhu's shop. To be honest, he was really scared that Lu Wuhu would keep asking. Luckily, Lu Wuhu knew that he was lying and still didn't keep asking. This was a rather Qian Bei quality. Although Emo really wanted to ask what the main purpose of World Rock was, he was scared that Lu Wuhu would think he had more World Rock. After leaving Lu Wuhu's shop, Emo completely delved into forgery. He gave Lin Yibin tens of millions of spirit stones to buy all sorts of materials in the Pill City. With Emo's wealth and his identity, it was all too easy to buy things in the Pill City. Half a month later, could already forge low-grade spirit artifacts. They didn't look very good, but Emo was very happy. This speed was very astounding. Although Emo got Lu Wuhu's forgery manual, that was just a nice way of calling it. It was only introductory forgery and explained some materials and flames. As for materials, Emo knew a lot from Thing. If it was given to someone else, it wouldn't be of much use, but to Emo it was enough. He just needed a rough introduction. 3 Birth Chant's main purpose was to form its own system. As long as he had the start, Emo would be able to complete it. But Emo knew this was because his cultivation level was too low. If he was more powerful, then he wouldn't need this to form his own forgery system. Emo believed if he worked hard, he would be able to make top-grade spirit artifacts in about a year or so, or even extreme-grade spirit artifacts. Other than forgery, Emo stayed with Ning Qingxue and Luoying and them all day long. These days, he had been going everywhere to reach higher cultivation levels and rarely spent time with them. Now that they were finally together, he wanted to stay with them more as well. It seemed a little crowded with so many people living in this small yard. Plus, Ning Qingxue and Luoying were both Golden Core State Peak stage now. Yimo didn't plan for them to form their nascent soul in the Pill City. It would be when they went back to their own place. He would change their cultivation methods after they reached nascent soul state. Today, he was chatting with Luoying and Qingxue when he received Lu Wuhu's message. The flying magic artifact was finished. Yimo just want to go to Lu Wuhu when Ning Qingxue suddenly asked, "Husband, do you have another wife called Xiaoyun?" Yimo immediately fell into awkwardness. He knew that Qingxue and Luoying knew about this, but he didn't know how to mention it to them. They were from Earth. It was already absurd that he married Ning Qingxue and Luoying, but now there was Xiaoyun. They also knew about Song Yangzhu and Su Jingwen. Seeing this, Luoying smiled and walked up to Yimo and grabbed his hand. "For you to like Xiaoyun, she must be a very good woman. Where is she now?" Yimo's eyes flashed with some sadness. He often thought about Mu Xiaoyun as well, but there had been no news of her. Even for Yimo and Zifeng, he at least got some news of them, but there was nothing for Xiaoyun. Yimo even suspected whether she had come to Luoyu continent or wasn't alive anymore. Ning Qingxue walked to Yimo's other side and grabbed his hand as well. "Husband, we're not telling you off. We know Xiaoyun is a very good girl. We often heard Zi talk about her. Now that we're together every day, I think it would be great if everyone could be here like this every day." Yimo grabbed their hands and said, "Sorry I didn't tell you about this before, but I really didn't know where to begin. Xiaoyun is a good woman. I miss her a lot. Don't worry, from now on there won't be anyone else." He married Song Yangzhu because there was Yimo. Meanwhile, Mu Xiaoyun was a girl Yimo couldn't bear to abandon. If he abandoned her, her fate would be miserable. Mu Xiaoyun was a very understanding and loving woman. Yimo was indeed into her. Almost all the good characteristics of a woman could be found in her. As for Su Jingwen, Yimo had been hesitant in sleeping with her. Of course, part of it was due to her not reaching Foundation Establishment State, but after she reached Foundation Establishment State, Yimo still didn't do that. It wasn't that he didn't like Su Jingwen, but he wanted to find Qingxue and Luoying first before he got with her. That was not only paying respect to them, but also a promise to Su Jingwen. Su Jingwen chased after him from Ninghai to Luoying, then to the small world, then to South Peace State. If he hadn't seen her bracelet, she would have died in a foreign world. No one knew about it. He was truly touched by her love. On that snowing street, Su Jingwen stood there silently in front of him like a snow woman as she watched him. That scene was forever etched in Yimo's brain. At that moment, he accepted Su Jingwen. He could even imagine how lonely Su Jingwen was after Yimo was taken away. It was already hugely fortunate that she was able to survive in the cultivation realm. "We know, husband. Don't think too much. Go to Lu Qinbei. He probably called you just now. After Xiaoyun, Jingwen and Yangzhu come to Mou City. We will never separate." Song Yangzhu felt Yimo's sadness. She called Yimo husband again. It was a term learned from Earth. It was common but could express her intense feelings. Luoying found herself gradually liking this term. Lu Wuhu looked satisfiedly at the flying magic artifact in his hands. Seeing Yimo come over, he quickly waved his hand to Yimo and gave it to him. "What do you think?" "Black Cloud Pike, made just as you wanted. An extreme-grade cultivation artifact. If it wasn't that the level 9 materials were a little lacking, I might have made into a half-immortal artifact." Lu Wuhu looked satisfiedly at the flying magic artifact in his hands. Seeing Yimo come over, he quickly waved his hand to Yimo and gave it to him. "What do you think?" "Black Cloud Pike, made just as you wanted. An extreme-grade cultivation artifact. If it wasn't that the level 9 materials were a little lacking, I might have made into a half-immortal artifact." Although he said it was a pity, Lu Wuhu was clearly very happy with his creation. "It's actually an extreme-grade cultivation artifact?" Yimo picked up the pale blue-black cloud pike joyfully. The dark cloud pike felt like a feather. He loved the appearance. He thought it would be very good if a half-extreme-grade cultivation artifact was made, but Lu Wuhu forged an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. The reason Yimo chose dark cloud pike was because it was good at stealth. It was usually very hard to find. Yemo felt the dark cloud pike and loved it the more he looked at it. Lu Wu-hu was indeed a forgery grandmaster. After you spirit control it, the inside area is nearly 6 meters. You can put the decorations inside yourself. In order to increase speed and defensive capabilities, I've shrunk the area. There's a stealth formation inside, Lu Wu-hu said pridefully. Clearly, he had seen Yemo's astonished face. Yemo immediately got up and bowed to Lu Wu-hu. Brother Lu, I'm really grateful to you this time. I owe you this time. I wanted to ask you to come to Mou City with me and then return the favor you owed me, but now I'm embarrassed to ask that. Haha. Lu Wu-hu laughed. Very well, I like you owing me. At the end of the month I will go to Mou City as well. Then Lu Wu-hu said again, I quite like you. I was planning to bear the pain of giving you a half-extreme grade attack cultivation artifact, but your kitchen knife is better than all of mine, so I thought never mind. How could Yemo not know that Lu Wu-hu wanted to see his Zisu? He took it out and gave it to Lu Wu-hu. Brother Lu, what do you think of it? Good means, it's really good forgery method. Lu Wu-hu felt Zisu and exclaimed, this is definitely an ancient treasure. He looked at Yemo and said, you've spirit-controlled this kitchen knife, so you should probably know that it's only a sword fetus, right? Before Yemo could nod, he said again, you should know that this fetus can add materials in to upgrade the magic artifact. The first time you add materials, it will keep the same appearance forever. Yemo nodded. Lu Wu-hu said seriously, you must not casually add in materials to upgrade it. If the level of the materials isn't high enough, it will greatly weaken your sword. Second, your forgery skills aren't good enough, and that will also affect this treasure. Yemo knew this, of course, or else he would have long since upgraded Zisu already. He wasn't going to use level 5 or level 6 materials to upgrade Zisu. Seeing this, Lu Wu-hu gave Zisu back to Yemo. When you have enough materials, come find me and I'll help you. Yemo smiled and put Zisu away. He had already started forgery himself. When he found enough materials, he wouldn't need to ask Lu Wu-hu for help. He knew that Lu Wu-hu must have a lot of top-grade materials. When his forgery skills were high enough, he might be able to find materials from him. After leaving Lu Wu-hu, Yemo's spirit controlled the dark cloud pike at his place. He found that there were about 30 square meters of area and 2 rooms. Yemo was very happy with this area. This was enough for him. There were spirit stone sinks at the front and back of the dark cloud pike. It could not only run on spirit stones, but also on spirit chi. Yemo looked at the tins of formations and knew that Lu Wu-hu was also a formation grandmaster. He couldn't help admire him. But Yemo also knew that most forgery masters were also formation masters. I'll call you Blue Moon from now on, Yemo said. Wang Chuanhe, who had returned to Lightning Cloud Sect, had a man facing him who was waiting for his reply. It was Yang Feiqing. He came to Lightning Cloud Sect for cooperation. The reason Wang Chuanhe didn't reply was that the sect was heavily divided on what to do with Yemo. Some elders believed that they must kill Yemo no matter what to preserve the authority of the Lightning Cloud Sect. The other elders believed that Yemo had established his grounds, and it would cause the sect trouble if they killed him. Yang Feiqing wanted to attack Yemo while he went from Pill City to Mou City. But Wang Chuanhe was planning to give up after knowing Yemo invited so many masters. After all, the Infinity Sect had the greatest conflict with Yemo. Lightning Cloud Sect only lost Tian Aofeng. Brother Yang, Yemo has built his foundation and he invited many helpers this time. There's no way for us to kill him on his path. Instead, we would overtly offend the Pill City. Wang Chuanhe sighed. I want to kill this guy immediately like Brother Yang, but the situation is such that we can't. Yang Feiqing said calmly, Brother Wang, I'm sure that if we don't kill Yemo this time, after he goes into Mou City, we'll never have an opportunity to kill him. Do we dare to attack Mou City? With Jiling's relationship to Yemo, he would set up the top-grade defense formation for Mou City. Perhaps before we even attack Mou City, Pill City would find an excuse to attack out sect. He paused and got up. Out of the people going with Yemo to Mou City, there's only one truth realization state from the Pill City besides Lu Wu-hu. There would be at most 3 or 4 from other sections. We don't have to consider those below truth realization state. As long as we stop those few truth realization state cultivators, we can instantly kill Yimo. Wang Chuanhe looked at Yang Feiqing in confusion. How do you know there's only one truth realization state cultivator from the Pill City? Yang Feiqing smiled. Half a month ago, Yu Qichao and Shan Guanqing left Pill City to an unknown place. Without Yu Qichao's help, do you think this Yimo would have a truth realization state to send him off? Having one was already unexpected. My sect has 5 truth realization state cultivators, while yours has 4. We have 9 truth realization state cultivators in total, if we add more than 10 disaster transformation state cultivators. Yang Feiqing stopped and looked at Wang Chuanhe. Wang Chuanhe asked in shock, Brother Yang, you're saying to send out all of our truth realization state cultivators and more than 10 disaster transformation state cultivators just to kill Yimo? Yang Feiqing nodded. That's right, we stopped those few truth realization state cultivators, and as long as we have one spare truth realization state, we can instantly kill Yimo. If Yimo is dead, even if the Pill City knows we killed Yimo, what can they do to us when the impending disaster of South P State is coming? Even if the disaster isn't to come, do you think the Pill City would annihilate 2 9-star sects for a dead Pill King? Yang Feiqing sneered. The Pill City isn't that powerful and they won't do that. We annihilated the Sword Valley. Do you see the Pill City doing anything? It really is so, Wang Chuanhe murmured. After a beat, he nodded firmly. Okay, just this time. If we still aren't able to kill Yimo, we won't be involved anymore. Yang Feiqing nodded. Of course it's just this time. If it doesn't work, we won't do things so casually as well. But he sneered in his head. If I'm going to let your sect completely break free from this, I would be too dumb. Meanwhile, in Pill City, Yimo, Luoying, Qingxue, and Beiwei sat together. There was no disagreement about going back to the MOU city. The Pill City was safe, but this wasn't their place. Even for cultivation, Yimo didn't dare to go into Golden Page World. He was renowned as city lord, but his power was limited. It wasn't much more than an elder. Brother, we have 3 truth realization state cultivators, including Lu Qianbei, and 6 disaster transformation state Qianbais, as well as 9 cauldron filling state Qianbais. With this many masters, what power can stop us? Tang Beiwei asked. Yimo shook his head. Yang Feiqing would risk everything for sure to give me a heavy blow this time. If City Lord Yu was still here, I could ask him for help, but he's going out for at least a year or 2. I can't wait that long. Although we have 3 truth realization states, that's far from enough. Infinity Sect has 5, and Lightning Cloud Sect has 4. If they all come, they can instantly kill us. Do they have the guts to do that? Ning Qingxue knew Yimo's status in the Pill City and asked in disbelief. Yimo shook his head. I don't know, but I have to be careful. What if they really dare to do that? Pill City won't protect you guys for a dead Pill King, and I think it's 90% likely that they will attack. Yimo shook his head. I don't know, but I have to be careful. What if they really dare to do that? Pill City won't protect you guys for a dead Pill King, and I think it's 90% likely that they will attack. Yimo has experienced enough to know that when a person is still alive, the connections are still there. If something happened to him, no matter how much the Pill City Lord approved of him, Luoying and Qingxue would meet a tragic fate. Whether it was for him or the people with him, he felt it wasn't wrong to be careful. Plus, he was almost certain that those people would attack. The city lords of Pill City happened to leave right when he was going to leave. This was quite coincidental. If they didn't really have business, then it meant that someone drew them away. When they heard Yimo say the word dead, they immediately became nervous and grabbed Yimo's hands tightly. They had been hoping to find Yimo and stay together forever. Now they were just together for a month, and there was potential death already. Seeing their worry, Yimo smiled and said, Don't worry, I have already made arrangements. I've decided for us to go first. What? Brother, didn't you say that even if we go together with Lu Qianbei, we can't guarantee our safety? If we go first ourselves, how can we escape from the hunt of the Infinity Sect? Tang Beiwei asked. Yimo said calmly, The ship heading to MOU City belongs to Ji Ling Qianbei. I've asked Jiling Qianbei to help set up a teleportation formation on the ship. When the ship starts, we'll take the teleportation formation to leave first. Then I can take you to Imoyu City. As long as we get to Imoyu City, they won't dare to attack the city. Yi Imo had decided to do this after careful consideration. He had Blood Moon, and after he left the teleportation formation, he could take them towards Imoyu City rapidly. As long as he left, even if the Infinity Sect's and Lightning Cloud Sect's power was greater than his protection squad, they wouldn't dare to kill anyone. The other people didn't know if it would work, but they all felt that was all they could do. In Pill City, a huge ship stopped outside the Pill Association. Almost all the Pill Kings and Pill City Elders came to send them off. 3 Truth Realization State Cultivators, 6 Disaster Transformation State Cultivators, and 9 Cauldron Filling State Cultivators all went on the ship. Amidst the applause, the ship rose into the sky and disappeared from above Pill City. I'm going to activate the teleportation formation. Only 2 people need to stay here. Yi Imo looked up and said, I will stay, Gu Wanqian said without hesitation. He was Hollow Spirit State Middle Stage Power. I'll stay too, Mi Zhenjie said. Yi Imo nodded. In that case, the rest of the people can leave with us through the teleportation formation. Other than Yi Imo, Ning Qingxue, Luo Ying, Xi Jida, and Luo Fei, there were Miao Warren, Huang Lanlan, and Gan Liang from Sword Valley, as well as the couple Lin Yibin and Su Tong. Jiling's ship was flying very fast, and it had been more than a day since they Pill City. Jiling was talking with Lu Wuhu and the other 2 Truth Realization State cultivators when at this time, Lu Wuhu suddenly got up. The rest of the people all got up seeing this. Even the Disaster Transformation State and Cauldron Filling State cultivators came out. An even larger ship had stopped Jiling's ship. More than 10 unfamiliar faces walked out, but before they attacked, their powerful force sweeping over. Jiling and the cultivators behind them were all shocked. They thought that this was a casual run to Imoyu City that would get them a free cauldron of pills from Yi Imo, but there were such powerful foes waiting for them. There were more than 10 cultivators, and half of them were in Truth Realization State. 9 Truth Realization State cultivators. Just these 9 were enough to kill everyone here. Plus, they had 9 Disaster Transformation State cultivators. Some people began to regret going on Yi Imo's ship and being stopped. Those people wore masks, but clearly didn't care about getting recognized. So what if everyone knew they were Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect's Truth Realization State cultivators? Lu Wuhu laughed and his chi exploded. Covering your ears to steal the bell. You think no one knows who you are just because you wear a mask? You're enough to rob me. Brother Lu, I admire you. We're all Truth Realization State cultivator, but Brother Lu is a Qianbei. We don't want to be your enemies, so please move aside. We just want to kill Yi Imo. Everyone else has nothing to do with us. A Truth Realization State tertiary stage cultivator walked up and said. Lu Wuhu sneered. What if I don't agree? Then don't blame me, the cultivator said and waved his hand. A black rainbow fell on his hand. Before it was even released, it was suffocating the people present with pressure. Such a powerful magic artifact. This person hadn't even attacked, but his magic artifact was this powerful. How terrifying would it be if it was in action? Lu Wuhu saw this and his face changed drastically. Infinity Sect is really willing to use a lot to kill Yi Imo. You've even taken out your sect treasure, the low-grade immortal artifact Shapeless Black Rainbow. Lu Wuhu and the rest fell silent. They'd even taken out their sect treasure. Clearly they were adamant on killing Yi Imo. That cultivator said deeply, friends, I won't say the reasons, but I can guarantee you that if you don't attack, we won't attack. We just want to kill one person, and that is Yi Imo. If you want to stop us, you will be our enemy. We will kill our enemies without hesitation. Lu Wuhu saw everyone fall silent and sighed. He thought Infinity Sect didn't dare to stop them, but they did and sent out all of their elites. Luckily that kid was cunning like a fox. Otherwise, even he wouldn't be able to protect him. Even so, Lu Wuhu wasn't someone anyone could abuse. He flipped his hand, and an equally powerful magic artifact appeared in his hand. Low-grade immortal artifact Truth Hack Axe? Everyone knew Lu Wuhu had a low-grade immortal artifact, but it was still shocking to see it. Brother Lu, Are you really going to fight us to the death for an irrelevant cultivator? That truth realization state tertiary stage asked. Lu Wuhu smiled. Fight to the death with you? Just wait for the anger of the Pill City. Wait till the city lords come back. That cultivator didn't say anything after hearing this. No one knew what he was thinking. His eyes grew colder and colder, and after staring at Lu Wuhu for 2 seconds, he suddenly said coldly, "Attack." Immediately, the shapeless black rainbow was hacked out. Heavenly covering black rays swept out. A strong feeling of dimensional collapse came. Some cauldron-filling state charged out of the battlefield without hesitation. They were scared to be swooped away by that dimensional collapse. Lu Wuhu sneered and was fearless. He released his axe, and a materialized axe shadow hacked towards the black rays. Rumble, a huge explosion sounded, and a dark hole appeared. Everyone knew that space itself had been torn by their fight. Lu Wuhu grunted and retreated a few miles out. That cultivator using the black rainbow spat a mouthful of blood and retreated tens of kilometers. When they took back their magic artifacts, the collapsed space started to recover, and those cauldron-filling state cultivators looked at this in terror. No one spoke. Such a level of battle wasn't something they could fathom. They thought cauldron-filling state were the top cultivators, but compared to the battle of truth realization states, they were nothing. The other truth realization state cultivators had charged over. Jiling was slapped a few kilometers away by a truth realization state cultivator. Hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, Yimo and them came out of the teleportation formation. Yimo quickly packed away the teleportation formation material. Yimo was very happy with this teleportation formation. It was very stealthy, and the distance was far. Hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, Yimo and them came out of the teleportation formation. Yimo quickly packed away the teleportation formation material. Yimo was very happy with this teleportation formation. It was very stealthy, and the distance was far. In a short time, Yimo's blood moon disappeared amongst the clouds. Lu Wuhu was surrounded by 4 truth realization state cultivators. Even though he had a low-grade immortal artifact, he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood after being attacked by 2 truth realization state level 9s and 1 truth realization state peak stage, as well as 1 truth realization state middle stage cultivator. With Lu Wuhu's temper, even though Yimo was gone, he wouldn't allow people to search the ship in front of him. However, although he was strong, he couldn't stop 4 truth realization state cultivators at the same time. Plus, there was one using a low-grade immortal artifact just like him. In this battle, he couldn't split his attention to take care of other cultivators. Jiling's ship had long been destroyed by the attacks of other truth realization state and disaster transformation state cultivators. The battleground was a mess. Although most cultivators didn't fight, some were still caught out. One cauldron-filling state didn't even go into the battle circle but was still swept away by the dark ray. Lu Wuhu stopped the shapeless black rainbow's attack again, and while he hacked the truth realization state middle stage cultivator into pieces, a green sword light also pierced his chest. He was instantly heavily injured. Lu Wuhu ate a pill and didn't dare to fight anymore. He knew that if it continued, he would die for sure. There were too many truth realization state cultivators. The Pill City truth realization state cultivator was stopped by one person. Heaven Demon Sect's Li Yao was heavily injured and taken away by the sect's truth realization state elder. They left immediately. Lu Wu, who also felt his cultivation essence, began to weaken after that sword light hit him. He didn't dare to hesitate and darted away in a red beam of light. There were 12 truth realization state cultivator participating in the battle, 17 disaster transformation state, and 9 cauldron-filling states. This could be said to be the largest scale battle in the last 500 years. One truth realization state cultivator was killed by Lu Wuhu, but Lu Wuhu was also heavily injured, and it was unknown where he went. 3 cauldron-filling states died protecting Yimo. They were from Heaven Star Sect and Golden Sword Sect. 3 disaster transformation states died. 1 was from Black Ice Sect, 1 was Formation Grandmaster Jiling, and the last one wore a mask. Other than this, Yimo's disciple Gu Wanqian and Sword Valley's elder Mi Zhenjie were killed. This battle shook the entire South Peace State cultivation realm, but after so many masters died, Yemo and the people around him had all disappeared. Yet even after this, the Pill City didn't say anything. Everyone knew it was the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect behind this, but the Pill City said nothing. This wasn't like them. With this, no one dared to say anything. Black Ice Sect lost a disaster transformation state elder, but didn't say anything. Ji-Ling was a formation grandmaster, but all formation sect was only an 8-star sect. They weren't scared of an attack, but they didn't dare to seek revenge. This was because they had the strongest defense and attack formation in the South Peace State cultivation realm. No sect could attack all formation sect, but formations couldn't be carried by your side. Blood Moon was extremely fast, and this made Yemo feel very good. With this speed, it should be fine even if he crossed the Heartless Sea. Brother, what is Mou City like? Tang Beiwei squeezed next to Yemo and sat down. These few days, her brother had been with his wives, and she rarely had an opportunity to have a conversation with him. Yemo smiled. You will be very happy. That place is like Luoyu City but prettier. Are Lu Qianbei and Ji Qianbei fine? Luoying asked. Yemo shook his head. There's no way something would happen to them, even if they were stopped. As long as Lu Wuhu and Ji-Ling Qianbei moved aside and let them search the ship, the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect would leave after not finding us. After Ji-Ling Qianbei comes to Mou City and helps us set up extreme-grade defense formations, even if the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect want to kill me, they wouldn't dare to attack. Luoying suddenly shook her head. Lu Qianbei is a master. How can he let someone check his ship? That's impossible. Yemo heard this and suddenly got up. He broke out in a cold sweat. He had calculated everything except Lu Wuhu's status. Lu Wuhu didn't mind small things, but letting these Wanbais search his ship was impossible. If something like this happened, Lu Wuhu would be ridiculed. If Lu Wuhu didn't agree to the ship search, what would happen? Bloody battle. There was no other possibility. Understanding this, Yemo instantly regretted. If he knew this, he wouldn't have asked Lu Wuhu to come. Stop. Yemo immediately told Lin Yiben, who was controlling the ship. Change directions. We can't go towards Mou City. Lin Yiben changed direction without hesitation. What's going on? Tang Beiwei asked strangely. Yemo's face was very bad. I'm afraid they've begun fighting. Susu is right. A master like Lu Wu who would never let Infinity Sect cultivators search the ship. Huh, then what do we do? Tang Beiwei began to worry. Before Yemo could reply, a messenger flying sword landed in his hand. Yemo just scanned it simply before his face changed drastically. What happened? The people gathered around. Yemo put away the messenger flying sword and clenched his fist, said coldly, Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect stopped our ship. Lu Qianbei was heavily injured and fled. Ji-Ling Qianbei, Black Ice Sect, Shi Qianbei, Heaven Star Sects, and Golden Sword Sects, 3 Cauldron-filling State Qianbais, as well as Sword Valley's Mi Zhenjie Qianbei, and Hu and Pill King were all killed. Heaven Demon Sect's Lu Yao Qianbei is heavily injured. Huh. Luo Fei shook. The only Hollow Spirit State Elder of Sword Valley was killed. Xian Jida cried on the spot. Yemo didn't have time to teach her. She was taught completely by Gu Wanqian. Yet, this master and martial brother of hers was killed. Everyone fell silent. Even Ji-Ling was killed. Clearly Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect didn't care anymore. Ning Qingxue got up and held Yemo's hand, trying to make him relax. After a long while, Yemo said coarsely, I did this to them. If I had waited till the city lords of Pill City were back before leaving, these things wouldn't have happened. Although Yemo knew that if the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect were onto him, it would be the same even if he waited in the Pill City for a few years. Plus, he needed to desperately increase his power. How could he waste time in the Pill City? Pill City was safe, but firstly, he couldn't go into the Golden Page world to cultivate, and secondly, he couldn't go find the Spirit Marrow place. The Messenger Flying Sword is from the Pill City's Truth Realization State Elder. He told me I can't go back to Mou City now. Then, Yemo said to Lin Yiben, we can't go back to Mou City indeed. Without Ji-Ling Qianbei to set up the formation, it's useless if we go. They won't do anything to MOU City as long as we don't go there. Plus, the city lords of Pill City will eventually come back. As long as I'm not dead, they will have some concerns. Turn south. We'll head that way, Yemo suddenly said. Without power, no matter how good you were at other things, you would need to borrow other people's power. If the city lord could be drawn away once, they could be drawn away twice. At this moment, Yemo decided that if he didn't gain a certain level of power, he would never come back and fight those 9-star sections. Pill City's Pill King. It sounded good, but once you left the Pill City, people would only be nice to you if they wanted to ask you for pill concoction. If they wanted to kill you, you were nothing. Extreme South? That's Ice God Forbidden Grounds, Lin Yibin said. Yemo nodded. That's right, we're going there. Only that place would be safe. Only there would we find the things we need. The map Shanbing Feng gave him was of the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Lightning Cloud Sect. Lightning Cloud Sect. Wang Chuanha sat in the main palace with a bleak face. They didn't kill Yemo, and Yemo didn't go back to MOU City. It would just give Pill City a reason to start a war if they annihilated MOU City. Plus, he was not interested in killing a few mortals. The reason he had a bleak face was because he now completely understood why Infinity Sect's Yang Feiqing had to kill Yemo. To Infinity Sect, Yemo absolutely must die. Yemo was this young and already a level 7 Pill King. He could kill Hollow Spirit State level 7 prodigies from Infinity Sect as a Hollow Spirit State level 1. He could even annihilate fire-eating bugs. He was absurd to the extreme. If there was any Hollow Spirit State cultivator who was as insane as Yemo, it could only be Chu Juyu. Even he wasn't absurd to this extent. If a cultivator like Yemo couldn't be connected with, then one must not have enmity with him. If you had enmity, you must kill him at all costs. Otherwise, once he became powerful, how could he let go of those who tried to harm him in the past? Yang Feiqing knew that they already had deathly enmity with Yemo, and that's why they risked everything. They'd mobilized all the Truth Realization State cultivators in their sect, and even took out their sect treasure because they knew that if Yemo became powerful, Infinity Sect would be dead for sure. Before, they might have hated Yemo, but Yemo wasn't so hateful of them. But the Infinity Sect annihilated Sword Valley and then tried to scheme for Luo Susu. Plus, Yemo killed many of Infinity Sect's core disciples. Thus, the Infinity Sect's hatred for Yemo was insane. His sect didn't really do much. Even after Tian Alfing died, they didn't have a head-on conflict with Yemo or didn't have the time to yet. So, the conflict between Infinity Sect and Yemo was one of life and death, but not between them and Yemo. But that was only before. After ambushing Yemo's ship, they were also in a life and death conflict now, and also offended the Pill City. At this moment, Wang Chuanha completely understood Yang Feiqing's bleak intentions. As long as he agreed, he wouldn't be able to retreat from this. Plus, they lost a Truth Realization State cultivator. If he had to choose between a Truth Realization State cultivator and Tian Alfing, he would choose the Truth Realization State cultivator without hesitation. But it was too late to regret. Now, he couldn't even have conflict with Infinity Sect, only an alliance with Infinity Sect, and protect them now. Tianji didn't dare to say anything at all now. The conflict between the sect and Yemo was mainly started by him because Tian Alfing was his disciple. If they killed Yemo, it was fine, but Yemo wasn't dead and they instead offended the Pill City, Black Eye Sect, Heaven Demon Sect, Heaven Star Sect, Golden Sword Sect, All Formation Sect, and a Land Forgery God. Even if Forgery God yelled, there would be many people helping him, much less Yemo. It had been 3 months since the battle and South Peace State calmed down instead. The Pill City didn't look for Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect for trouble. Neither did Black Eye Sect as well as the other sections. Lu Wu, who seemed to have disappeared. Yemo's MOU City was still the same. At the same time, that level 7 Pill King City, Lord Yi, also disappeared. In the extreme southlands of South Peace State, there was a blue flying ship flying rapidly. It had been flying for more than 3 months, but still hadn't arrived at its destination. This was Yemo's Blood Moon. Yimo knew about the ice god forbidden grounds from Shan Bingfeng's map, but he didn't know it was actually one of the 4 forbidden grounds of South Peace State. Lin Yibin told him this. The 4 forbidden grounds of South Peace State were Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds, Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and Truth Fall Forbidden Grounds, in decreasing order of danger. The Ice God Forbidden Grounds was ranked above the Truth Fall Palace Forbidden Grounds. Yitimo knew how dangerous it would be even before going. The more Blood Moon flew south, the slower it got. Even the people on the Blood Moon felt the bone-chilling cold. Luckily, Yimo was a formation great master and set up multiple cold defense formations that finally stopped the weak cultivation level people from shivering. Yimo even suspected that if he wasn't sitting on an extreme grade cultivation artifact, it would have frozen and cracked. Would there be spirit marrow here? Yimo found it hard to imagine, but he knew that Shan Bingfeng probably wouldn't lie to him. Another month later, it was even harder to go forward. Yimo scanned his spirit sense out and found even his spirit sense was about to get frozen here. Yimo didn't dare to be careless. Although Blood Moon was an extreme grade cultivation artifact, who knew if it would crack? Yimo released his octagonal cauldron and went outside the inner room. He walked to the front of Blood Moon. Although he had the octagonal cauldron, he still shivered. The octagonal cauldron made cracking sounds as though it was getting hit by countless ice shards. But Yimo knew they weren't ice shards. It was true terrifying coldness. Yimo threw a few formation flags out, but before he could set up the defense forbidden grounds, they completely cracked. Helplessly, Yimo could only activate Blue Moon's own defense formation. Luoying and Qingxue stood at the door wanting to see Yimo as they were worried for him. Yimo signaled the two to go in and then took out Winter's Arrival from the Golden Page world. Ever since his power and Shadowless got stronger, he rarely used Winter's Arrival. This was the first time he took it out. He wanted to see if Winter's Arrival could absorb the extreme cold here. What Yimo didn't expect was that as soon as Winter's Arrival came out, it immediately attached to one side of Blue Moon and a faint white stream of chi was being sucked up by Winter's Arrival. That white grew faster and faster until it almost materialized. Yimo rejoiced. Winter's Arrival could indeed absorb the intense cold here. As soon as the frost was devoured by Winter's Arrival, Blue Moon sped up. Soon, it was flying at normal speed. Yimo breathed easy. How can it be this fast? Lin Yiben looked outside in shock. He felt that extreme speed. I heard people say that once you're at the outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds, even half-immortal artifacts would be slowed down. Yimo truly felt how powerful the Shadowless Worm was. Not only was it covered in treasure, but even the Winter's Arrival that came with its birth was this powerful. Just what was Shadowless? Pity that day he pretended he knew things and didn't ask Lu Wuhu. But now, Yimo had made up his mind and decided to ask clearly when he got out of this Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Blue Moon wasn't as cold as before due to Winter's Arrival, so the people inside came out to enjoy the scenery. We're at the outskirts now, Lin Yibin suddenly exclaimed. Yimo also saw it. He was shook. There were not only ice mountains here, but also ice figures. There were a few hundred of them. Almost all of them were extremely beautiful women. They seemed alive, but were frozen. So pitiful, Tang Beiwei said in shock. These women were clearly instantly frozen to death. What powerful being was this cruel and inhumane? These women aren't simple. Yimo looked at the frozen beautiful women and frowned. These women aren't simple. Yimo looked at the frozen beautiful women and frowned. With such terrifying coldness, ordinary people would have cracked into nothing. How could they maintain this look? Yimo took out the map. The map didn't show these women, but the scene shown on the map was clearly this place. There should be an ice river if you walked along this mountain. Yimo controlled Blue Moon to go in carefully and found there was indeed a long ice river. There was no water inside the river, just ice. There were all sorts of strange-shaped ice stones on the side of the banks, as well as long ice shards. There were also other ice figures, but they weren't women anymore. There were all sorts of people. Some even maintained a battle position, others were missing hands or heads. Shan Bingfeng said she once came here. What power level was she? Was she hollow spirit state as well? If she was, and she didn't have a magic artifact like Blue Moon, Emo wouldn't believe she could come here alone. Or perhaps there wasn't this bone-chilling frost when she came, but that was impossible. Without it, this place wouldn't be called Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Emo took out the map and looked at it carefully again. He found he was right. This was the place. Emo kept flying Blue Moon along the riverbed, and after another 2 hours, Emo felt something was wrong. There were some frozen bodies before, but the more he traveled, the fewer the bodies. Eventually, the river and the two sides were barren. Emo took out the map again, and he found he didn't seem to be on the wrong route. It's not right, brother. The map shows that the ice river gets wider and wider, but it's getting more and more narrow for us. Tang Beiwei suddenly pointed. Emo looked carefully. It was indeed so. He really looked at the map wrong. Perhaps he went the wrong way. Emo was about to change directions when the ice river suddenly cracked open without warning. Going quickly, Emo pushed Tang Beiwei inside and pulled out the octagonal cauldron. Rumble, rumble after the huge sound. There was suddenly a powerful suction force at the cracked part of the ice river. This reminded Emo of the swamp. Emo instantly controlled Blue Moon to speed away. Luckily, with Winter's arrival's help, Blue Moon wasn't slowed down by the frost and rapidly charged out of the suction range. Emo turned around and looked at the crack, which disappeared as though it had never appeared. Before Emo could recover, he felt a dense spirit chi. It was the same feeling as the spirit marrow pond in the Herb Valley. It was comfortable to the extreme. He felt he only took in some of this spirit chi, and his power grew. Such dense spirit chi. Lin Yibin called out in shock. Emo didn't control Blue Moon to leave here. He looked at this ice river and realized why there was nothing around here. With the appearance of that crack and the terrifying suction force, anything would be sucked away. Just a small portion of spirit chi seeping out of the crack made him feel so good. What if he cultivated inside? Emo didn't dare to imagine it. But Emo didn't dare to go down. He wasn't alone now. What if there was some danger there? Suddenly, Lin Yibin saluted with his fists to Emo. City Lord, Emo knew what he wanted to say and asked, "Do you want to go into the riverbed?" Lin Yibin nodded firmly. "Yes, City Lord. The spirit chi down there is extraordinary. It's clearly a good place for cultivation. I think I'll stay in this cultivation level for my entire life if I don't get a place like this to cultivate. But if I go in there, I might be able to reach truth realization state." Emo looked back at Luoying and them and suddenly said, "In that case, let's go in together." He was furious to the extreme that Ji Ling was killed by Infinity Sect. Ever since he had come to South Peace State, he had been taken care of and helped by Ji Ling many times. Even a good guy like Ji Ling was killed. It could be said that Ji Ling had only provided help to the South Peace State cultivation realm and no harm. Many big sect's defense formations were set up by him, and yet someone like him was killed. How could Emo feel good? Even if he was to die, he would get revenge for Ji Ling. If he wanted revenge, he needed power. If he wanted power, he needed a good place to cultivate. Clearly the riverbed was a good place to go. Emo didn't ask Luoying and them. He knew that they would follow him no matter where he went. Emo stopped Blue Moon, but that crack didn't appear again. He waited till midday on the third day and decided to stop waiting. Just when he was about to keep searching for the spirit marrow place, the crack appeared again. The suction force came, but Emo didn't escape with Blue Moon this time. He tried to reduce Blue Moon's speed, but even so, Blue Moon fell down with a terrifying speed like a comet. With past experience, Emo kept throwing out formation flags, and luckily it wasn't as cold as above, so the formation flags didn't freeze. It couldn't stop Blue Moon, but it slowed them down. Rumble Blue Moon smashed into the riverbed, but luckily no one was hurt. Lin Yibin was a body condensation state cultivator, and he got off with Su Tong from Blue Moon first. He immediately said in surprise and joy, "This place has no cold. The spirit chi is really terrifyingly dense. This is the best place for cultivation. It's better than eating any spirit pill." Emo also got off, and the rest of the people did so as well. Emo put away Blue Moon and studied this place. There was nothing else but the dense spirit chi and some fine sand. This fine sand extended to a distant place. One couldn't see the end of it. Even if one scanned with spirit sense, it would strangely disappear. This isn't ice god forbidden grounds, Lin Yibin said with certainty. I heard my father say that even hollow spirit states wouldn't be able to get in the outskirts of ice god forbidden grounds without help. Inside forbidden grounds is even more dangerous. You can lose your life at any time. But this place only has dense spirit chi but no danger. Yimo nodded in agreement. If he didn't have winter's arrival to suck the frost around Blue Moon, even if he could come in, it would be a month or two later, and this was if his Blue Moon didn't break. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get out. Yimo thought of the frozen bodies. Perhaps they didn't have good armor or flying magic artifacts to protect them. That's why they died. Since this place opens every 3 days, then how come only we can come inside? Tang Beiwei asked. Yeah, that's true. They weren't the only ones coming to the forbidden grounds. Why was nobody else here? There was no way people wouldn't come here for fear of danger. Wait, since this place has that powerful suction force, the things pulled in before should be here. But how come I see nothing but fine sand? Gan Liang asked. Yimo suddenly had a bad feeling. If there was nothing else here, where did the sand come from? Yimo suddenly had a bad feeling. If there was nothing else here, where did the sand come from? Thinking about this, he suddenly felt Shadowless grow restless in the Golden Page world. He saw Shadowless fly next to Blue Moon and open its mouth, sucking in some sand. This gave Yimo a strange feeling as the sand seemed worried when being devoured by Shadowless, but Shadowless was very active. Yimo felt that it was very happy. Yimo thought, why did Shadowless eat the fine sand? Why would sand have emotions? Yimo instantly had a bad feeling. There was something wrong with the fine sand. He immediately called out, nobody move. Miao Warren and Gan Liang were planning to search along the fine sand, but immediately stopped. He quickly took out Mist Lotus Heart Fire and instantly covered everyone. Everyone had a layer of Mist Lotus Heart Fire covering them. Other than Miao Warren and Huang Lanlan, no one else even flinched. Yimo felt very assured with Lin Yibin and Su Tong's reaction. Lin Yibin was body condensation state tertiary stage, and Su Tong was body condensation state middle stage. If they wanted to resist, it would be very easy, but they didn't do so. Now that they were enveloped by his heaven flame, even though they were body condensation state, he could kill the two at any time. Yet even in this situation, the two didn't move. Yimo knew they were set on following him. Yimo wasn't going to burn them, of course. He swept with the flame and all the sand below them disappeared, along with the sand around them. Where people stood showed ground without the fine sand. It was a grayish-white rock. Yimo put away the heaven flame and Lin Yibin asked in shock, is that fine sand area alive? Yimo nodded. After the flame had cleared the fine sand, there was a faint stench in the air. Why didn't they move if they were alive? What are they? Why do they look like fine sand? Xian Jida asked in confusion. Then, the empty space burned away by Yimo's flame started having fine sand appear again. They seemed to have moved over from the distance. It was slow, but it never seemed to stop. So disgusting. Huang Lanlan frowned. Yimo threw down tins of formation flags and said heavily, if I'm not wrong, this fine sand is a rare spirit bug called Spirit Devouring Bug. Spirit Devouring Bug? Lin Yibin called out in shock. Yimo nodded. Yes, they are probably spirit devouring bugs, but not completely. The spirit devouring bug was ranked under the fire-eating bug, but it wasn't weaker than it. It was ranked 11th, and once matured, it had terrifying offensive capabilities. It was even faster than fire-eating bug. Master, why aren't they completely spirit-devouring bug? Are they scary? Xian Jida subconsciously neared Luo Fei. The fine sand already seemed disgusting just knowing it was alive, much less standing on it. Yimo threw down a few formation flags and set up a defense formation, not allowing the sand from outside to come in. Spirit-devouring bugs devoured all that had spirit chi regardless whether it was alive or dead. These bugs are probably just eggs and haven't hatched. If they hatched, they wouldn't be slow like before. Huang Lanlan shivered. Big brother Yi, you're saying that even though they are eggs they would still slowly devour us, right? Luo Fei answered this time. The things sucked into here before are all gone. Everyone fell silent. Clearly the things that fell in here before were devoured by these eggs. Even the stones with spirit chi were devoured. Luckily Master has flame, and if they come we can burn them. Xian Jida broke the silence. Lin Yibin smiled bitterly but didn't explain. Yimo had heaven flame, but there were countless spirit-devouring bugs. Could he burn them constantly with heaven flame? Yimo's cultivation essence would dry up first before all the bugs were burned. Yimo wasn't worried about this. He was thinking about when and if the bugs hatched. Would their offensive power increase hundreds of times? Brother, what do we do? Tang Beiwei subconsciously walked to Yimo. This place must have an extreme grade spirit range, or people wouldn't leave the eggs to hatch here. Yimo said with certainty. Huh? Tang Beiwei exclaimed. You're saying that someone left these eggs here? Definitely. This suction force is also a formation. Yimo saw it clearly now. This place was different than the Zhao River swamp. Spirit sense couldn't scan out of here due to the formation. If all the spirit-devouring bugs hatched, then even a sect would disappear in the blink of an eye. These eggs only needed dense spirit chi to hatch. Later on they would then need to devour some live spirit-containing bodies like cultivators or spirit beasts. This formation isn't open for long, meaning that even if people came here before, there wouldn't be a lot. But soon, there would be more and more people coming here, Yimo said with certainty. He didn't explain as the spirit-devouring bugs had begun to mature. They would need large amounts of cultivators to devour. Only then could they hatch. After they hatched, they wouldn't need cultivators to come in. They could find a place with dense spirit chi to evolve themselves. This was a long process, and clearly the person setting up the formation had already thought of it. Even though Yimo knew what this place was about, he couldn't leave. Yimo was a level 6 formation great master, but he couldn't even see the corner of this formation, much less break free. That person wasn't scared that no one would come as once this riverbed opened. That dense spirit chi was irresistible. Himself and Lin Yibin were an example. They came in of their own will. There would be more cultivators wanting to come in here. No one could resist this dense spirit chi. Anyone would want to find out about this place. Death wasn't a threat to cultivators. Only after a certain amount of time with no people coming out alive would people gradually stop coming. It could be said that the cultivator who set everything up here had a very clear grasp on cultivators' mentality. Thinking about this, Yimo's back began to sweat. He thought of that space devouring spirit in the Herb Valley and the Truth Fall Palace Level 7 Invisible Master. Would this all be done by the same person? If that was the case, what did this person want to do? Did he want to rule the entire cultivation realm or annihilate it? No one spoke. Yimo cast these thoughts aside and smiled. Perhaps this is the place we wanted to find. I'm not sure if there's spirit marrow here, but I'm sure there's something on par with it. But these eggs? Lin Yibin asked. Yimo nodded. We don't need to care about them for now. Let's find the source of the dense spirit chi. After we pull away the spirit chi, these bugs will die themselves. These bugs were powerful, but there were strict conditions for them to hatch. Without dense spirit chi, they would die quickly. Just when Yimo was about to pave the way with Shadowless, there was another loud rumble. Another flying magic artifact smashed down tens of meters from them. Yimo and them didn't move. 4 cultivators got off the flying magic artifact. They were 4 body condensation states. They saw Yimo and them immediately. Yimo and them didn't move. 4 cultivators got off the flying magic artifact. They were 4 body condensation states. They saw Yimo and them immediately. Hey, the sand, you can't. Wang Lanlan just said half a sentence before she was dragged behind Luo Fei. After Luo Fei's sect was annihilated, and she was abandoned by the person she loved, she was no longer the same her as before. She had completely matured. She couldn't tell the power level of the people who just got off, but they were clearly more powerful than them. Regardless of whether they were enemies or friends, Luo Fei didn't want to remind them. Such dense spirit chi. A yellow cultivator-robed middle-aged man took a deep breath and said, such powerful female cultivators. A triangle-eyed cultivator saw Luoying and Ning Qingxue and suddenly said. A skinny-faced cultivator quickly stopped this cultivator and saluted with his fists to Yimo. Did you guys get sucked down as well? He was speaking to Yimo and them, but his eyes looked at Lin Yibin, clearly thinking that Lin Yibin was in charge. Yes, we were also sucked down. Lin Yibin nodded. Suddenly, that triangle-eyed cultivator said again, are those few female cultivators with you? Yimo's face sunk immediately. He was thinking about whether he should warn them about the sand, but the eyes he looked at Luoying with made him extremely uncomfortable, so he didn't say anything. And now, he still asked about the female cultivators. This guy was not a good person. Lin Yibin's face sunk. He looked at Yimo. If it wasn't because they had 4-body condensation state, he might have attacked already. Yimo shook his head. There was no need to attack. If they fought, they would not be a match. The triangle-eyed cultivator still wanted to say something, but was stopped by the yellow-robed cultivator. Brother Hai, this place doesn't seem right. It's completely empty other than the sand on the ground. Clearly, the cultivator meant that now wasn't the time to talk about woman. It was important to know what this place was. The women wouldn't fly off. The triangle-eyed cultivator nodded. Although those few female cultivators came with the 2-body condensation states, if he wanted them, they would give them over. No one would fight with their life against higher-powered people for a female cultivator. Yimo's eyes went icy cold, but he didn't do anything. These 4 cultivators didn't know them at all. Clearly they had been here for a long time, perhaps more than a year. Otherwise, even a deaf would know something about him. Those few cultivators started walking further inside. It's not right. We waited for 3 days for that crack to open. How come there are also more people here not long after we came down? Lin Yibin asked. Yimo scanned with spirit sense, but couldn't scan out, so he thought for a bit and said, perhaps that crack doesn't have a set time. What I'm afraid is that this crack might have stayed open after we came in. Those people probably came over due to the intense spirit chi, brother. You said that this place must have an extreme grade spirit range and even spirit marrow. Those people already walked ahead. Should we follow? Tang Beiwei asked worriedly. Yimo shook his head. We need to go up, but not with them. Let's change directions. There might be more and more people here. If someone send news out, there will certainly be more people coming. The outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds was terrifying, but people should be able to get in with extreme-grade flying cultivation artifacts. Which big sect didn't have 1 or 2 of those? Just when everyone thought Yimo was going to pave the way with Heaven Flame, Yimo called out to Shadowless. As soon as Shadowless came out, it shrieked in excitement and charged out. Those people immediately saw that the sand seemed to have seen something terrifying and retreated, but it was too slow. Yimo saw Shadowless fly into the air, and then those eggs formed a gray stream that went straight into Shadowless' mouth. Everyone was shook that a green pea-sized thing devoured this many eggs. Even Ning Qingxue was dazed and asked, Husband, this thing is only that big. How can it eat so much? Yimo said awkwardly, I don't know as well. When it was first born, it ate something 100 times bigger than itself. This is Shadowless Worm. Lin Yibin suddenly said, You know about Shadowless Worm? Yimo rejoiced. Lin Yibin nodded. I've heard my father talk about it. He said something like, not a spirit bug, not a mortal, not number 1 Shadowless Worm. This Shadowless Worm is one of the most precious things in the cultivation realm. Yet City Lord got it. Congratulations. Yimo waved his hand. Brother Lin, hurry up and tell me what that means. I really want to know. Lin Yibin said without hesitation, Shadowless Worm isn't a spirit bug and doesn't appear in the cultivation realm. I don't know how City Lord got it, but it definitely wouldn't appear in the cultivation realm. It looks just like a spirit bug, but all the spirit bugs and the rare spirit bugs rank fear Shadowless Worm. Then isn't it the first? Why isn't it the first? Huang Lanlan asked. Lin Yibin shook his head. Because a long time ago, someone got the Shadowless Worm and came to the cultivation realm. It grew famous really quickly, and some Qianbei placed Shadowless as the first on the ranking, but soon, someone found that even the most powerful spirit bug would become very worried seeing Shadowless. Soon, They found that Shadowless wasn't of the same caliber as the other bugs, so they didn't list it in it. Then why isn't it immortal? Huang Lanlan asked. Lin Yibin shook his head. That I don't know. Yimo suddenly said, Brother Lin, your father must be a very powerful person, right? Lin Yibin's eyes showed some reminiscence and sadness before saying, Yes, my father is very great. It's because my ancestor is an extremely talented person. Even when people mention him now, they are full of respect. City Lord, I won't hide it from you. My ancestor is Chu Juyu. I'm a descendant of Chu Juyu. Everyone looked at him in shock, but he said angrily, My ancestor's 9-star village was taken over by a group of house servants. Ever since my great-grandpa, we've been working to take back our home. My father gave me the name Lin Yibin because Lin is half the character of Chu. The day I get back to 9-star village is when I restore the Chu name. Yimo realized. No wonder he felt this Lin Yibin name was quite strange. He thought that since Lin Yibin was a descendant of Chu Juyu, would he know about fish jump through Dragon Gate? Yimo just wanted to ask Lin Yibin when he heard a scream. Moments later, a cultivator came charging out from the inside. He was clearly a body condensation state who went in. But now, he was covered in sand, specifically spirit-devouring bugs. He didn't go very far and quickly fell into the sand and was covered by it. Then, the pile of sand also disappeared. Yimo's heart sunk. Those spirit bugs that devoured cultivator essence blood would have hatched. Otherwise, they wouldn't devour a body condensation state cultivator this quickly. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.